Robot and the bear. 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 And the bear. You're awesome. Are we on?
We're live. I had to let that keep going for a while.
There's more to where that came from.
That was crazy. Man, yeah, you should have started rapping.
No, I don't know how to rap.
Oh, okay.
I
But
don't
you
know
guys
how
are
to
doing a
rap.
good job.
I just know how to say the words robot and the bear.
Wow.
Well, if you guys gave, if one of you give me a beat, I'll rap.
Oh, I'm not good at like.
Yeah, I don't know how to do this
beatboxing,
beatbox thing,
you
man.
know.
Wow.
It's kind of like, being put on the spot, and like I just kind of like start like, I don't know, doing stupid shit because I'm bored.
Right.
You know?
Wow, that was impressive.
I'll
Wait,
give
are
you
you
guys-
guys gonna get a beat? Oh, okay.
I need something. I need
Yeah.
something.
Wait, are you gonna find a beat? I thought that's what you were doing.
No.
Oh, I thought you were finding a beat. Okay, so you can just find a beat.
Well, I can't. You find a beat.
No,
I got 2 lines for you guys.
What?
Oh, okay. Find a beat, Eric.
You find a beat.
I would prefer one of you guys to beatbox. It's not the hardest thing to do.
No, but like it's. I'm just. I feel like I'm on the spot, and I'm like I get all
Can you do
nervous. No, see, like I'm just not. I'm not there. I'm not there like I am when I'm just fucking around and being dumb.
Channel your inner black man.
Wow.
That is deep in there. It is deep in there, and
We all have it.
I know. I agree.
We all have it.
We do. We do.
we do.
We do. It's
Like this.
Robot
Turn
and
it
the bear made from sprockets and some hair. Fozzie Bear, Iron Giant have nothing on this perfect pair. I need to practice this. I need to practice. I haven't practiced that. Sorry.
Oh my god. That was from Thailand, the beat, by the way. It was a Thailand beatbox. I'm like, what?
Yeah. Well, Thailand's kind of crazy.
I guess so.
You know, with all the political hip hop and everything like that.
I guess so.
I think I saw something somewhere on some video on some YouTube channel about like, Thailand and their like, like I think they had an election recently or something like that, like earlier this year. And
Wow.
there was a bunch of like, people going, this is all fucking bullshit, and fucking like, like they got their, homies together and did this big old like, political like hip hop kind of thing, and like the video was like fucking hardcore, and it's like draws inspiration from like all these like documentations of like people getting like their shit beat out of them, over political.
You sure it's
issues.
Thailand?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
What if
Yeah.
it's somewhere else?
It sounds like
It sounds like Hong Kong right now.
Hong Kong right
Yeah.
now.
Oh, Hong Kong.
Yeah.
Hong Kong. Yeah, maybe I should put that
Yeah.
on my fucking like top
Well,
5. Though I
should
don't
we,
really give a
should we
shit
start the
about
top fives?
that. Yeah, you start, Eric.
Okay, I'm starting. Number 5, Ako Castuera's art show. It's called Dance the Worm.
Dance the worm.
She has to do the worm.
She will do the worm here probably, but yeah, it's called Dance the Worm.
Wow.
Starts October 26th. Be here. Should be cool. Just sculptures and
I had a
craziness.
girlfriend who apparently could do the worm, but she never would do the worm for me, like the dance. Just show me like that she could do it. She would tell me about it. Her
Is that
friends
why you
would say-
broke up with her? Because she's a liar? I would have broken up with her too.
No. I mean, like, the worm is only a small factor in the, things that like, it's not even on the radar of reasons why I would break up with a person.
Wow.
You whether a person can or cannot do the worm.
So she kind of said, "I can do the worm." Wouldn't
Yeah.
show it to you. Then
You're
you guys,
gracious.
but then you guys broke up.
Yeah.
It had
I
nothing
mean,
to do with
like
it.
a year and a half later, but like,
and every moment you're like, "Show me the worm." Show me the worm. Oh. No. God.
I wanted to see her do. I mean, like, like if a girl says she could do the fucking worm, you gotta like be like, oh, okay, well, I can't do the fucking worm.
I could do the worm.
I think you could do that. I'm gonna guess you could do the worm. Yeah.
You're hardcore though. Like you're an ass kicking machine. Like the worm is just like this little small
It's a
like
dance. It has nothing to do with fighting.
No, but it has everything to
No.
do with
Body movement?
like a body movement. And,
Actually,
like,
though, body movement, yeah, jujitsu guys, like the break dancers make good jujitsu guys, I think, right?
Yeah.
You're just in general, they
Yeah.
understand movement really well. So, you know, and then they can mimic movement too. So, like, I think that matters, right?
Mm-hmm.
When you can mimic a movement, like you're like, oh, the guy's doing this, grabbing his arm here, and all this stuff, and then they're like, I could do that. And me, I'm like, grab left wrist, move leg to outside of whatever, and I'm like, oh man, I can't do this. That's jujitsu for me. It's like this bad puzzle. Yeah, I'm horrible at it. Anyways, okay, that was number 5. Number 4. This is gonna be really selfish. Making pan pizza.
Oh.
So I make pizza often, like once a week. I think I make pizza at home. And I just saw a video about making pan pizza on the Bon Appetit website, the bonappetit.com.
It was with Brad.
I don't know.
I fucking like tall guy.
I don't remember. I just mimicked it, made my own pan pizza.
Do you
I thought it was a
normally-
woman, actually, and it came out amazing.
Wait, didn't you do that one with the guy from fucking the hot sauce guy, fucking
Oh, I don't
Hot Ones
know.
guy? Do you watch Hot
Yeah,
Ones?
I do.
I think it was a female that made the pan pizza, but I just mimicked it, and it's amazing, and I made it twice in a week.
Do you normally do it in like a burner, like an oven?
Oh yeah. I don't have a pizza oven, but I mean I use a broiler, and it's a really
Yeah.
quick cook. It's like 550 degrees, but I'm using a pizza stone and pizza peel and all that shit. I have the gear.
I have a pizza oven.
Oh, you do?
So you're doing it in your oven.
Yeah, and it's
That's-
just on
that's
boil.
awesome.
Wait, you have
Yeah.
a fucking pizza oven?
Yeah.
Like
in
a
my
brick
patio.
pizza?
Oh,
Yeah.
how much was that?
It was like $300.
What's the heat on that?
It's around 5.
Is you sure it doesn't get to 8 or something like
No.
that? Okay, because you
Yeah.
kind of want it to get
It's
higher.
on stone,
Yeah,
and
I'm doing my oven
Yeah.
boiler, but I was hoping that gets to like 800.
You should put that. You should put a pizza oven in your backyard.
Oh, that's sort of like one of the things I want is I've been eyeballing pizza ovens, but
Yeah.
part of it is using coals and stuff, like not just gassing it, using coal.
that's
but
what you want to do.
yeah, and try to get to like 800 degrees. Like when you can get it that high. That way your pizza cooks like in 3 minutes, but it's rocking.
Right.
Yeah. Anyways,
Well,
no.
then you're gonna have to get into that 24-hour fermentation.
I
thing.
know. Then you got to do it that way. I'm too lazy to do that. I just buy the dough because I don't want to make my own
Who
dough.
do you?
Trader Joe's, man.
I get mine from Trader Joe's as well.
yeah, that should. I mean, do I want to wait 24 hours or spend $2?
Exactly.
It's $2.20 something, I think, to buy a dough, right?
It's pretty cheap.
Yeah, so it's like 24 hours of making my own or just buy that fucking thing. So I'm like, I'm just going to buy the dough. Yeah. I mean, I understand the craftspersonship or whatever you want to call it to make that dough, but I don't want to wait 24 hours. I just want to eat the pizza.
Right.
The process matters, but not right now. And if it's a pan pizza, that's a little bit punk rock. Like, I don't want to wait 24 hours for pan pizza.
Are you doing like in a
That's
cast
like-
iron, or are you doing it?
Oh, I'm sorry. It's a cast iron pan pizza. Yes.
Yes.
That's the whole point.
Nice. Even
yeah.
better.
Yeah, and it's kind of amazing.
How big?
It's just a 12-inch kind of a square type of thing. Was it 12? Maybe a little less. But I able to use the whole pack of dough from Trader Joe's, just that whole pack. And but I actually use the same amount of dough, sauce, and cheese that I would make to do 2 flat pizzas. It's
Yeah.
about the same. So I'm not eating more. It's just it's rad.
It
That's in a
sounds
pan.
good.
It's delicious, man. And then
I
you
saw
got
the pics.
you
It
put a
looks
little bit
good.
on the you grill. You put it on the stove a little bit because you want to get that the outside the crust
Yeah.
to get a little more firm first before you put it in the oven to get the top, because you want the top to then get toasted kind of. So you want to do a little bit of heat from the stove first.
I'm sorry to do this to you, but I have to qualify what you mean by good. So can you tell me what pizza you think is good?
Oh, okay.
Oh.
So you want to get into pizza. My favorite that I've ever had is Seirinkan, which is in Tokyo. I went there on a whim because I stayed close by, and then it got onto that. What's it called? Ugly Delicious? No,
Ugly,
is that what it's
yeah.
called? That show. And now, like, I went a year later. Now it's all like tourists in there.
Yeah.
But when I first went, it was all Japanese people, and I went there saying this is the best. And then I've eaten pizzas all in LA, just everywhere. I've never gone to Naples, right? But every time I take a bite of pizza, I'm like, nope, not as good as Japan. So that's my favorite one.
How about here in LA?
That's what I'm saying. I've gone to a bunch here. I even went to the one that's from Naples, that's in Hollywood, and not as good as the one from Japan.
All right.
Yeah, I've been to Roberta's, which is from New York. That's open in Culver City now, and it's good, just not as good as what I like.
All right. As long as you weren't gonna say like
Domino's.
You know, I haven't eaten a Domino's pizza in a long time, but I bet you that is better than a lot of other places.
You know what? I like Domino's. I mean, it's not great pizza by any any stretch of the means. I'm just, it's just like, I want a pizza. I want it to deliver to me. I want it in like 30, 40 minutes. I'll call Domino's.
Yeah.
But because like, especially living in the East Side where like there isn't any particularly great pizza around me, like say in Hollywood or the West Side, Santa Monica, Venice, like that's where all the good Southern California pizzas are, in my humble opinion.
Well, you're East Side, so you're what?
San Gabriel Valley.
San Gabriel.
Mm-hmm.
See, I would at that point go to like an Italian American old style place, and you're not going to get Naples style like this marinara pizza that's just really simple. You're going to be getting family style that's been around for like 40 years or 50 years.
Yeah,
right?
you know what? There's the one
There's
pizza place that is near me.
Petrillo's?
Petrillo's does the canned mushroom thing.
Petrillo's is pretty good.
But canned mushrooms, which like the yardstick in which I measure pizza is a sausage and mushroom pizza.
I like those. Yeah.
Yeah, and
That's got canned mushrooms.
yeah, it's got canned mushrooms, and I'm like, oh.
You know what?
Yeah.
They might have been doing that for like 50 years though.
Right.
They've been
Just
around
like that.
forever too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
See,
I mean, like, but like, I mean, their
we
pizza's
called
good.
it Petrillo's. We're just like that. Before you even said it, I had a feeling.
Don't get, I mean, like I said, I've ordered Petrillo's many a time, but like I keep forgetting that they use canned mushrooms, and I keep feeling really disappointed.
Oh, bummer.
But it's like one of those things too. I like the omakase high-end sushi is amazing, but I'll also eat that revolving sushi. I have a different
fucking Kura's the bomb.
So I have, but I have different standards of what I would expect. Like there's amazing pizza that's from Naples, and then there's like American like classic, that's born and bred here, right?
I feel you. I'm the same way.
So I've got different standards for different things, So
Right.
like
I'm
I
okay
could go
with
to
it.
Kabuki and eat California rolls.
Sure.
They're so good.
Yeah.
But I would never have. I would have gotten kicked out had I gone to Nozawa and asked for California roll.
Yep.
That is literally like one of the things that he probably would have kicked you out for.
Sure. Yeah.
Nothing wrong with California rolls, man.
Yeah.
As long as it's not fucking fake crab. Gross.
Oh, but most California roll you get is going to be fake crab.
Yeah, I know. And
Yeah,
I
that's
don't,
what makes it so good.
it just kind of grosses me out.
Yeah.
Like this
It's
overly
fish cake.
processed fucking fish.
I got you.
So.
But it's funny. My mom had a restaurant, right? It's called Hakata. It was in Santa Monica. They had a sushi bar for, a long time, right? And she said that a lot of people who are not used to eating real crab flip out on real crab when they're used to eating fish cake, thinking it's crab. So when she would serve real crab California roll, some customers would complain, and she'd be like, "What's wrong?" And they said that something's fishier about the crab meat, like the California roll.
Right.
And she's like, "That's a real crab. You're not eating the fake shit." So some people don't know, and I don't know. It just depends on your palate.
Imagine just going to boiling crab and you just throw a bag full of fucking crab.
I personally like fish cake, so I used to snack on fish cake as a kid. But anyways, okay. What a great discussion about food. Oh man, thank you, Johnny.
Yeah, Kazunori, which was one of an offshoot of
Oh, I
Sugarfish.
love Kazunori.
They do a crab roll, and that's real.
Oh, yeah. A lot of places
Super good.
have that hand roll at the end, right? You do an omakase thing, and it comes with this blue crab hand roll.
Because they know they're not fucking giving you enough food.
Yeah. Is that what you think?
Yeah.
Okay, I believe you. So, okay. 5 on that one. Because
Like every time I go
I've
to
noticed
fucking
that,
like
yeah.
Sushizo or something like that, like you get these beautiful nigiri.
Yeah. And at the end, it's that heavier hand roll. It's like, all right, end it, bro. You need to eat more. I agree, man. That's so weird. And that's a thing, right? It ends with a blue crab hand roll. That's like a fresh crab. I noticed that.
Yeah, it's like, man, I know you're
So
starving.
good.
It's good though. It's delicious.
so
yeah.
good.
But I totally hear you on Kazunori. That is my, like, when I'm downtown,
$30.
$30, you get
What?
like fucking all these different hand rolls, and it's fucking awesome.
Amazing.
It's amazing.
Yeah.
Wow.
I've never even been to Sugarfish, but like.
Yeah, I've never actually the Sugarfish version. No, I haven't been to the redo, whatever it is. But yeah, I bet you it's still good. I just haven't gone.
It's okay.
Yeah.
Yes, it's good.
Yeah.
But there's a lot better.
Okay, so number 3, I'm going to mention an athlete, LeBron James, where he comes out and says the guy Daryl Morey from the Houston Rockets, who posted like siding with the Hong Kong protesters, which then created a big uproar for the NBA in China, because like now a lot of Chinese companies are pulling sponsorships, and these guys had a difficult trip. Anyway, so LeBron James sides with basically China on that one and says, hey, that was a misguided tweet and he was not educated. And then LeBron James is sort of like this guy who wants to be more than an athlete, and he wants to stand up for people's rights, and he has all this kind of stuff. And then he says that, but then he then says, well, maybe it was misguided, and he should have waited a week until we were back from China. And it was kind of like, I don't know. It was just kind of like one of those weaselly things where I was like, a very unpopular tweet he did. Like, it made him seem like, I don't know. He's usually for the underdog, and he's trying to act like that, but then he goes that direction for what it's worth, and then all of a sudden says that, maybe you should have waited a week. I'm like, come on, man. Like, you can't. I don't know. It's just one of those things where I'm like, because he wants to be more than an athlete. That's his like slogan.
He does
right?
it like a week before that. He was coming out for like college ball players and how California signed in the new law stating that they can then take on like sponsorships and whatnot and make money, right?
Yeah, but I guess it's just it's a financial thing too, and it's just tough for the NBA. But whatever, it's just one of those.
That's on my top 5 too. But my argument's the exact opposite.
Yeah, no,
so
I understand.
We'll go there in the.
I think you might have said it last week too.
Did I?
Yeah.
Maybe.
But yeah,
I don't know. We'll see.
I think you did, but
I
okay,
probably did.
I get it.
No
worries. I can see both sides because I'm here in LA, so it is what it is. But so number 2, I would say is. The little shoplifting at Giant Robots.
Oh, this is so good.
And it's gotten exciting.
Shoplifting gate?
Yeah, there was a shoplifter. I posted the video because I was like, what else do you do, right? Yeah. I don't know who he is. So I posted the video. And of course, like I'm always I'll do a snappy title because I'm tweeting it. And if you do a funny title, like it's even better because you'll get retweets because it's kind of funny and it's like I'm making fun of it, the whole thing. Anyway, so it gets retweeted a lot, and then I put it on Instagram, and it's like 12,000 views of that video, and then it turns out that there's a girl with him, and her friends spot it and tell her, hey, you're in this video, and it's like this guy stealing stuff, and evidently it was a date or something. He called it a date, and she says she doesn't know him, she's not involved. Anyway, so long story short, he then writes back and says he doesn't apologize. And he says something about please take the video down, or please remove her from the video because she's innocent. And like half the people not half, but many people who see it are saying, she was in on it and all this stuff. But maybe not.
You see him talking. So but they obviously know each other. But,
who knows? But anyway, so then he sends another one because I didn't take it down the same day or something like that. And then he doesn't apologize. He's still not apologizing. And I'm like, dude, at least say sorry, or are you sorry? Because it doesn't seem like it. And then I said, well, are you going to apologize? Like I wrote to him, and then he then writes back and says, I'm sorry. And he goes through this whole thing about like how he has mental health issues now and all this stuff, right? That's like I know klepto, he's a klepto and all this stuff, but the girl's innocent, but I'm a klepto and I have these problems and I'm really sorry. And I don't like I support small business, right? And I'm like, by stealing, right?
Yeah.
So anyways, and then I just said, and then he, in that same one, he calls us, I guess it would be me. He says, he basically says you're immature for posting the video.
Fuck you.
Yeah. And I was like, immature?
I think so.
I'm posting the video because I don't know who you are, and like the video is posted. And he goes, you could ruin that girl's life. And I'm like, I don't know, man. Whatever.
Why? How? She didn't do anything.
Yeah. She didn't do anything wrong. And then he said and then the fourth message, I'm like, okay, so now you're calling me immature. You expect me to do anything for you? Like, and then the fourth one was basically saying how that he's gonna now. Oh, he said you should have not posted the video and used whatever legal methods there are to prosecute me. And I was like, okay.
The only reason why you even know
who
he is because of the fucking video.
Yeah, exactly. So it's
now we could prosecute you.
So it's not making sense. So then he threatens to sue me in that same one. He's saying, okay, I'm going to talk to an attorney if you don't take this video down by like tonight at whatever, end of day.
Fuck you.
So, and I was like, okay, all these things are bad. And then the girl comes into the store and says she's innocent and has nothing to do with it.
That's fine.
And I was like, oh, that's cool. And she's actually, I call her because she leaves her number. I have her name. But she leaves her number, and I talk to her, and she sounds reasonable. And I said, yeah, but now this guy's threatening to sue me, so I'm not doing anything. I'm just going to stay put. And the video's still going to stay there. And she's kind of like, well, you got to do what you got to do. She was kind of understanding it all, but I was like, this guy is crazy. He wants to sue me now, so I'm not going to do anything. I'm not going to be bullied or succumb to his threat of being sued for posting his video. Yep. And then he says stuff like, well, yeah, I haven't been prosecuted, so therefore I'm innocent. And you're now accusing me of stealing something, but I'm not prosecuted. I'm an innocent person. And I was like, I don't think it works that way because you admitted stealing it already in a previous message, but just like crazy. I'm like, this guy is nuts. He's really desperate. But then, I I had to file a police report. I was like, okay, now I'm going to file a police report because you're threatening a lawsuit. So I filed a police report, and I, figured out his name. The girl corroborated his first name at least, but I think I got his full name, and I put that in the report, and now I'm talking to a detective who's like going through everything. There's a detective, and it's weird. LAPD is super on top of this stupid thing. It's so minor, but the LAPD is like all over it.
Oh,
so
that's interesting.
Yeah.
So I heard there's a new video.
A new video?
Uh-huh.
Of what?
At the store.
A new video?
This is what we're talking about. Yeah, this is the.
No. There's a new video.
Wait, is that the
What?
one? What do you mean new video?
Yeah.
How new?
It went down like at 7 p.m. tonight.
What?
Yeah.
No.
Yep.
What is that?
Yeah, it was a guy at the store
No.
standing. I'm not messing with you right now. He was standing at the store in front of the cameras. He was wearing.
How do you know?
Because I know. He was wearing like a gray button-up and a black hat with a gold, lightning bolt.
Oh, it's you, man.
And he was dancing in front of the camera. But if you go...
Look,
go through the
I'm gonna
video.
look at that video later, man. Anyways,
He was dancing at 7 p.m. at the store tonight.
I love that. I love that. Anyway, so we'll see where it goes from here. But basically, the LAPD is just like, okay, whatever. And I think I figured out his name. I'm close. Anyways, long story short, that's what's happened. And I'm like, God, I just want this to end, but he keeps making it worse. So I'm just like, all right, I'm not going to let you bully me because I don't want to let a shoplifter bully me,
Right.
Yeah. So I'm just going to keeping that video up.
Yeah.
Let's
keep
get
it up.
Let's get that to 13,000 views now, or 14. Let's keep it going.
Keep it going.
Yeah, and the police report's really thorough. It's crazy. Anyways,
Love it.
it's a bummer, like kind of for him because I think he's doing everything wrong. Like if he would have just said sorry,
Here's the book.
here's the book, and it's a Barry McGee book. Here's the book, and sorry. But instead, he's like, he's just out of control. So whatever. Oh, well, and number one, my top 5 is Poston. I went on the trip, which is Poston is the internment camp where my dad was during World War II. So I actually took him to there's a pilgrimage, and we went to that, and he got to see kind of where he was there, and, maybe met a few others who were there and stuff like that. But it's kind of a, gnarly trip for the family.
Oh.
I guess, it's kind of like, there's good parts and there's also bad parts where I'm like, this is kind of unorganized because it's like a really small group, but there was about 250 people, like families, whole families were there and stuff to like check out everything, It's in the middle of, it's Parker, Arizona, right across the border.
Mm.
Yeah. And, so my dad was actually there for 3 years as a kid, 8, 9, and 10. I guess.
Wow.
Yeah, he lived there with his family and whatever. And, I think there was like 18,000 people or something at where he was, and it was just all rounded up in like this fenced area, so it's kind of a jacked up, but yeah. And, just bad conditions and 110 degrees type of thing or more in the summer. So
That's heavy.
yeah. Anyway, so it was good for him to actually see it all again. And he's good. And he's just like, all right. I was like, you want to go again next year? And he's like, nah, I'm good. So yeah. Anyways, that's my top 5.
Nice. Okay. My top 5. I guess I'll go in order of the week. Let me think. When did these things happen? Okay. The day after our last recording, I went and saw the One Piece Stampede movie. It's good if you're into One Piece.
That's anime.
It's anime. I'm a nerd.
Okay.
Okay.
I'm following. I feel that. I feel that.
It's not canon, but it's entertaining. So, yeah. No,
I want to help you right now. I just don't know.
No, there's nothing you can help me with. It's just my top 5 of this week, of the past week. It's kind of lame, but some of it's kind of interesting. Okay. Number 2, the Pornhub Awards. I went to the.
You went to. You took Thomas.
No. Oh, I took Thomas to see the One Piece Stampede.
Okay.
But my friend Leroy Myers, who is a director, was in town and for the Pornhub Awards, and he invited me. And yeah,
Where is this at?
it was at the Orpheum in
Oh, wow.
downtown Los Angeles.
Oh, you know what? I saw a photo of somebody like did a selfie in front of that. like they were there. I forgot who it was though.
Mm.
It wasn't you. It was somebody
no.
else.
No,
Like,
I,
it was wild.
It was on the marquee. Yeah.
yeah.
So what happens there? Tell
It's
us.
just a fucking award show, you know.
Yeah, but
like,
are there like naked porno stars everywhere
No.
just putting muff in your
had
face?
they had a pretty strict no nudity,
okay.
you know,
What?
rule over
What's
there.
happening right now? Yeah, say yes.
I mean, like,
Everybody. Was
apparently the year before, when it wasn't held in the Orpheum, they like, you know, like they had the bar was going all the way to the end of the fucking the award show, and like people were fucking naked, and it was crazy.
Really?
But like,
Oh, wow.
this
So
was
it
last
happened.
year, and
Wow.
this year it was pretty tame.
civilized.
So what did you say? Best DP
They had like
and
they
then best
had,
scene, and it's like they bring
yeah,
up
they
the
had
stars.
best. They had best DP. They had best, you know, squirt, and they had
Right.
best, like, you know, and they had.
Did they
like,
show the clip?
No, they didn't. They didn't show the clip. They had a bunch of like performers, like I don't know. There's I only remember one name, and that was Bad Bunny, and that's
a band.
yeah, it's a hip hop guy, I guess. He's a rapper. Had no idea who the fuck he was, you know. But apparently, like, everybody who was there, I mean, like, it's a bunch of industry people, you know, like with like some pretty, like, you know, interesting outfits. Like, they had this one girl, like, I saw. I think I forgot what award she won. Maybe it was like an anal award or something like that. But like,
Sure, something
she,
like that.
You know, she like had like, you know, pasties on, and like a skin colored, like, you know, bikini bottom, and then like she had these hair attachments that like were all braided and like wrapped around her body, like in a kind of a hentai kind of Japanese, like, you know, bondage rope tying.
You
kind of thing.
and you identified.
Sounds kind of Cirque du Soleil-ish.
Kind of.
Actually, sounds pretty.
Yeah, it was cool. It was I was very impressed, you know, and she, like, you know, gave like probably the best speech for an award acceptance thing.
Was it like, I just want to thank my mom and dad?
No, she was like, I want to thank my dad who married his stepsister, you know, which is the reason why I'm, like, you know, doing porn, you know, and I'm like, that's the best speech of the entire evening, you know. And then everyone, like, all these porn stars ended up at, like, you know, whatchamacallit, like at Umami Burger afterwards, the downtown Umami Burger.
Or you went there?
Yeah.
Which is
Oh, wait, isn't it right next
door?
door?
Yeah, it's right next door.
Yeah.
So.
And
But-
you ate burgers and just was
like
talking to porno stars.
Yeah, basically.
Awesome.
You know, it was, you know, I mean, it was definitely interesting, I think, like,
Okay.
you know, I went to see Brian Viveros and Ken Flewelin at Think Space. They had an opening. It was crazy. The air conditioning was broken, and it was stupid hot in there, but it was a good show. You know, there's also another show that at Cobra Gallery was Chet Zar's dark art kind of thing that, you know, and so another eventful, like, art show hopping fucking weekend.
Yeah, I caught Brian's show and I caught the dark art show as well.
Oh, you went to both of them? I
Yeah.
didn't see. You must have, like, you know.
I was there early.
Ah.
I'm early for everything. Hence tonight.
That's a good habit, you know.
Yeah.
I have the bad habit of running late for everything, so, you know, but yeah,
Brian kicks ass.
Yeah, it was yeah, he had like lines of people, like, you know, trying for him to sign. He had like posters that I think he was giving out, you know, for free, and yeah, it was cool. So
Yeah, with the style of, or like his subject matter, it ends up attracting a bunch of really beautiful women dressed up in like his characters.
He had
Yeah.
I saw some of that too, you know. It was cool, you know, like, you know, he's
Closer to the mic. I don't know what's easier.
Okay,
Yeah.
sorry.
All right.
you know,
I can repeat everything I've said tonight
you're
so far.
Fine. You're fine.
my number 4 is the Culture Cartel in Singapore. I got my plane ticket, and so I'm going to Singapore in December.
Is this a conference?
Awesome.
Yeah, it's like a convention, I guess, you know, but it's a little bit more street art related, which is funny because I'm not street art at all, but like.
Awesome.
You know,
Well, you painted a mural.
I painted a mural,
Yeah,
but
there you
that's
go.
not
Street art.
That's not street art.
It's on the street, man.
You know.
Close as you can get.
So yeah.
Yeah,
And-
I get put it. There's this one really big, huge, thick book. It's called like, I think it's called Street Art. How's that?
Yeah, you're talking to the side of the mic, so
And-
that's good.
I found myself trying to convince the publisher not to put me in.
Oh wow.
I'm like, I'm not a graffiti artist. Everybody in the book's a graffiti artist. And he's like, do you paint in the street? I'm all, yes. He's all, you're in the book.
Awesome.
So I was like, all right, whatever.
Yeah,
do it.
no, I mean, there's a big difference between muralists and taggers, and
Yeah.
so I don't know.
I think Barry McGee kind of would say like, yeah, the taggers is graffiti and street art is like people doing murals and stuff.
Yeah.
Because
Mhm.
yeah,
Yeah,
that's
exactly.
kind of how he broke it down. Graffiti is a little more destructive sometimes, and street arts have become really beautiful and
Right.
depends, but
I mean, I've done a little bit of graffiti kind of stuff, here and there, but like that was only like while I was working on a mural, So
yeah, and you graffitied something in Japan and got in trouble.
I did do that, and that was because I didn't get in trouble with the law. I just
No.
the store that I did it on contacted me,
Yeah.
and it was I felt bad.
Yeah.
I felt bad. So
That's why I'm not a graffiti artist.
Well,
I did stupid stuff as a kid. I grew up around, even like all my friends now, they're all graffiti artists.
Mm-hmm.
And I paint in the street,
Mm-hmm.
but man, to do something illegal and mess up someone's property,
Sure.
I couldn't do it.
Well, the thing I saw was I basically saw a big wall of like signatures and signs and drawings and stuff like that on a store, and I'm like, oh, okay, well, it looks like people are just tagging this wall up, and so I fucking just drew a little fucking bear on
Yeah.
it, wrote Luke was here, and walked away, and then months later, I got an email with just the word no graffiti, no graffiti, no graffiti, no graffiti over and over with exclamation 4 or 5 exclamation points after each one. Person obviously is a big fan of copy and paste, and then and then a picture of the drawing I did, and I was just like, oh.
You're not supposed to use your name or your character. I was standing out front of ThinkSpace, what the original ThinkSpace,
Oh yeah.
and the whole street was just full of all the graffiti artists were there. We were just hanging out front, and everyone started kind of tagging in the street, all the way down the street.
Mm-hmm.
And so I was like, I don't know, we're all here and we're doing it. So I put my name down, and they were like, you never use your name.
Oh my God.
Well, I mean, you didn't write Johnny on there. You wrote.
No, I wrote KMNDZ.
So you just wrote it backwards, and then
Yeah.
people will be like, who is this ZNMDK?
Yeah.
Guy. Doesn't quite roll off the tongue, but
It doesn't.
anyways. So but yeah, where was I going with this? Yeah, so I'm going to Singapore in December.
Awesome.
Congratulations. That's awesome.
I'm kind of excited. It's been 3 years since I had been there, and I'm looking forward to eating my heart out, or eating till my heart explodes, or just gets clogged up and stops working.
Awesome.
So, it'll be good.
That's the best way to go.
And I wanted to end it all.
This is your number one.
Yeah, with LeBron in Hong Kong. And I know Americans, we have this pro-democracy kind of thing, all governments in the world need to be democratic, blah blah blah, et cetera, et cetera. And I completely disagree with that sentiment. I think that some countries and some governments and some people seem to function better in monocratic, just one party, governments. And I believe that the people of Hong Kong are going through the exact same issue that the people that the students in Tiananmen Square, they're making the same mistakes that the students in Tiananmen Square made. And that is that, originally the Tiananmen Square thing in 1989 or 88, when they started their protests, they were requesting, some government reform, and educational reform, because, the head guy had died, and which inspired the student student protests, and when the Chinese government were like, okay, we will satisfy your demands, then they kind of like, well, we got more demands, and they started demanding democracy and this and that, yada yada, and then it became, you saw what happened. It became a fucking massacre.
Tank Boy disappeared.
Right. Now in Hong Kong, the reason they started their protests over a law that had about extradition to China, and a month ago, I don't know, I forgot what her name was, the woman who was managing or running the Chinese government at the time, was able to shoot down the extradition law. But now it's like, we want democracy. And I'm like, oh God, you guys, this is the problem with not fucking staying true to your fucking history and publishing all this fucking everything that happened. You're just making the same mistakes that happened fucking 20, 30 years ago. And I don't know. I think that if you want these things to fucking happen, they have to happen slowly. And they have to happen, China is a much freer country than it was 40 years ago, and I think that it's, unless you just want some catastrophic fucking whatever thing to happen, like a war, or just want blood pouring on the streets, it's not going to fucking happen, especially after fucking, Xi Jinping, basically became an emperor by shooting down term limits. So I don't know. It's just one of those things that I'm like, I just feel like I see history repeating itself.
Mm-hmm.
And which is the reason why I kind of agree with LeBron, with the pro-Chinese kind of post that he made.
Yeah. But he basically said that the GM of the, I don't know, he just disagreed with what another person wrote.
Well, that's the thing, is that people who
I don't know if he's pro-China.
I guess he's not pro-China.
I'm not sure if I don't even know everything you just said. I bet you LeBron James doesn't know that. Right. I bet you he just was selfishly like, fuck, man, that was a tough trip.
Because there's a lot of money involved in the NBA contracts in China. And I think that people who are taking sides, on this issue generally don't understand, are kind of going into it not fully understanding what they're getting themselves involved in.
Right.
I think what's crazy is how China's quietly flexed their muscle, through here in the States.
Yeah.
I wish I can give you specific examples, but the NBA is definitely kind of straightening themselves up to make sure that China's happy.
Oh, big time.
Right.
Yeah.
And
It's really
and
weird.
the only reason why they are falling in line is out of greed. It's because of the financial incentives of being in China. It's come on, man. I think you were fine, with or without, China, lining your pockets.
They just want more. 100%.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
it's a big enough organization, with enough celebrity athletes in it,
Oh,
and enough, fucking endorsements from different.
They just want more. Just like the film industry. Just want more.
Just want fucking more. I don't know. It is what it is. So, anyways, our guest,
Our special guest.
after waiting for so long, to finally tell us his. Let's hear it.
All right. I just got a text from Nathan. I'm going to say, I won't text him back. I'll just wait. I get to, I go down to his class and teach the kids for an hour.
Oh, you do?
Nathan Oda?
Yeah, so I'm going back.
Oh,
So
Otis
we're
or
supposed
Santa Monica College?
Santa Monica.
Oh, you do the Santa.
I've taken that class a couple times, and it completely changed me. Because I'd never taken a painting class before, and a real one from a professional illustrator or painter like a Nathan. And as soon as I got that painting tray and the sponge and the vellum tip, It just changed everything for
Awesome.
me.
Last time I did it, it started off talking about painting. This next one, I'm going to try my best to make it just about painting. But once you get me talking about painting or even like techniques, it just naturally jumps into like relationships and people, because that's what my painting's all about, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so it got really heavy. It was
In his class.
in his class, yeah, and it was awesome.
Wow.
Yeah, it was super awesome.
Whoa.
When was this?
Um,
A year ago?
probably like 2 years ago,
A
maybe.
few years ago, and you're going to
Yeah.
do it again?
Yeah.
Oh, I want to go.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, my top 5. It's all about me.
It's okay.
Is that all right?
Yeah. Yeah. I mean,
what it's
mine
about.
was all about me. So,
Yeah.
you know.
Yes. So in order of least importance to most important, Audi, I like following brands and sticking to brands.
Mm.
I'm a Volkswagen Audi fan despite Volkswagen and their shenanigans.
Mm.
In 2020, they're going to release a RS6 Avant 600 horsepower station wagon that's hybrid.
Mm.
And I'm a station wagon guy. I can't afford this car, but I want this car really bad.
RS6. What is an RS6? Wait. So wait, an Audi has a A4 wagon, right?
So
A6 wagon. They have
so-
an A6.
yeah, so
the RS is the higher end of it, the sport ones, right?
Yeah, so they have all their A models, which are
Yeah,
like the
A3.
entry levels.
A3, yeah.
83,
I
4,
think A4 is
5,
common. Yeah.
A6,
Do
A7,
they have an A8? now?
A8.
Yeah.
A8's like the biggest state
Yeah.
car.
Yeah.
And then they have the R3,
Yeah.
R5, or S.
And
Sorry, it's an S.
An Avant is a wagon, right? Is that right?
Avant.
Yeah.
Avant's a wagon.
Yeah.
So they have the S4, S5, and so on. And then above that, they have the RS,
Yeah.
which is like their big platform that competes with like BMW M3s and
Gotcha.
C63 S Mercedes-Benz, like their high-end line. And so they haven't had a RS here in the States since an RS6. They haven't had one probably since like the early 2000s. They have an RS7 here. They have an RS5, but the station wagon's a big deal because like right now they have Mercedes has one that's like a 700 horsepower.
Mhm.
It's basically like a soccer mom kind of.
So how much is this vehicle going to be?
150.
Oh my gosh.
Oh, geez.
Oh, yeah. Wow. Wow, it's interesting you like that though. Or you're following
Wait,
that.
what was it? What was it? The
RS6
Avant. AVANT.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I just want to see what this is.
Wow. Yeah. 150,000. That's a little.
It's a little steep.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right.
Is this it?
That's it.
Wow. Can I see that? Oh yeah. Looks like an Audi. Like if you said that's just some random Audi, I would be like, that's a $40,000 car. I wouldn't have known. So
Wow.
Apparently,
Wow.
it's not going to hit showroom's floor. You have to special order it.
wow.
Yeah.
Whoa.
So
Cool.
they're kind of just testing the market. My
Awesome.
number 4, the Joker.
Whoa, I haven't seen that yet.
haven't
And I want to
seen
see
it yet either.
I want to see it.
Do I need another number 4?
No,
Damn.
that's a good one though.
Damn, you
From what I
guys.
understand, that's a good one. But
I've already
I,
seen it twice.
wow.
You see it twice? Yeah,
You know
I'm
what
gonna
I
say-
did the other day? I went on Sunday. I went to the movies by myself
Yeah.
and sat there and watched it for the
Yeah.
second time.
Wow.
Wow.
I love going to the movies by myself.
Yeah.
Such a treat.
I usually go to. Yeah. I
So I can't
I
talk
do
about my
see-
number 4.
Well, we can talk about it. Or wait, is there a spoiler that he? Are we not
You know
gonna
what?
believe that he turns into the Joker or not? Like,
I'm not going to talk about it
okay,
because I don't want to do that to you guys.
but I mean,
I don't want to.
we know that he's gonna be the Joker, right?
Yeah.
Like, oh, he's actually gonna become Batman? No, he's gonna be the Joker.
Joker.
We know this.
We know everything.
So that's a spoiler, right? We know this. That's not even a spoiler. We know.
Yeah.
But what I don't want to do is this is what I hate. I hate someone giving me their projection on the movie. I hate it. It's the best movie ever. And then I go into it with expectations.
I already
I
have
don't-
like high expectations for
Yeah.
this movie. I don't know whether or not you could elevate those expectations even more, simply because like everyone, like people are talking Oscar, fucking this and that, and fucking whatever.
And Joaquin Phoenix is kind of a rad dude.
Yeah,
right?
Joaquin Phoenix is like
It's a really cool dude.
He seems like a cool dude.
Yeah.
Yeah. He played Johnny Cash before,
All right.
right? So
Yeah.
he's rad.
So let me see if I can replace my number.
That's
No.
We could just move on to number 3 if you
Yeah.
want.
All right.
But yeah, that's great.
Moving
yeah.
on to number
Yeah.
3.
I've been meaning to watch that.
Yeah.
All right. So I guess this one's timely, or maybe like a day late. So yesterday was Indigenous Peoples Day.
Yes.
Yes.
Took place of.
Columbus.
Yes.
Yeah.
I just started reading A People's History of the United States. I just started it, so like in the first chapter, it's all about Columbus, right? And I mean, fuck, intense, crazy stuff. I don't know. Probably don't need to get too much into that because it
I don't
does
know.
get really.
What's a highlight?
graphic. A highlight?
Yeah, give me a highlight. Give me the most graphic thing.
Like the child
So-
sex rings and like child trading and
Yeah,
sex
yeah. It was.
slaves.
They were doing all that stuff, but the Arawak people
Mm.
were who they had found. They were the first people that Columbus found when he came here to what we know as North America. He didn't even land here, right?
Mm.
He landed like in the islands, like Cuba, Puerto Rico, over there.
Right.
And so who was there were the Arawaks. And he had all kinds of promises to Spain, which were like, I'm going to come back with all this gold.
Mhm.
So he comes over with the Nina de Pinta and the Santa Maria.
Right.
Takes one of the ships, dismantles it, builds a fort, takes the 2 ships back, and he leaves with the ship, leaves like 500 guys behind, who all end up getting slaughtered because they started messing with their women and all that stuff and trying to enslave everybody. Goes back to Spain, convinces them like, there's all this gold, so give me like something to the effect of like 1,500 more men and 17 more ships, or I forget what the numbers were. Comes back and still like no gold, but he then gets into a point to where he has to like start forcing people to look for the gold for him. And he sets up like a system where if you don't have like a necklace around your neck, then that means you haven't met like your duty or your quota. So he would just walk up to you and just chop off a limb or something, right? Until they were going out and bringing back what the gold that he had been requesting from them. No gold over there, so they end up just turning to slavery.
Right.
Damn.
But eventually, they brought their sickness, which wiped out like half of everyone. And then they had went through an Iron Age. So when they showed up in like iron helmets, iron chest plates, muskets, and swords.
Mhm.
And these guys walk up to them and they're like touching everything. They're touching the swords and cutting their hands because they're like, they had no clue. All they had were like spears made out of cane.
Mm-hmm.
And
Stone arrowheads or something, right?
yeah,
Yeah.
but even then they weren't like, they were all part of like this giant network that went from like South America, what we know of as Mexico,
Mhm.
to like North America, to where like all the Sioux Indians and everything were.
Mhm.
It was like this big, huge, giant trade circle. And they would fight, there would be interfighting, but they weren't looking to like wipe each other out.
Right.
So in some tribes, they just had like wooden mallets where they would just beat each other up, but not kill each other,
Right.
because they knew they needed to survive off of each other's trading. But
Mm.
then here come these Spaniards with like, they're saying that like, 500 men could completely control like an entire population, just simply because of the technology that they had with them,
Right.
But I'm super proud of us. Maybe you guys know more, but I'm so proud that here in California, it's now Indigenous Peoples Day versus Columbus Day. Because I grew up with Columbus Day.
Yes.
Sure.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
man, I feel
I mean, is it official? I mean, like I
I don't know if it's official.
But they call it that here. So
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's not
Indigenous
referred to
peoples-
as Columbus Day
Day.
anymore. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't think it's every state. I feel like I thought I heard it was like 10 states do it or something, and that's it. Something like that. Because,
Yeah.
there's some places that still subscribe to the Columbus.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's still
Yeah.
people. There's
Yeah.
still
Yeah.
places that have Confederate flags up. So
Exactly.
You
Yeah.
know, you do.
So that was my number 3.
Damn, that's a heavy 3 right there.
I
Yeah,
know.
it is.
Damn.
That's a good one.
Yeah.
My number 4 is I'm gonna chop this up. Museo de los Pintores Oaxaqueños. So that's a museum in Oaxaqueños, Mexico.
Is that Oaxaca?
No, Oaxaca's
Damn it.
Oaxaca.
Oh, okay. I thought that was like a righteous name for it. Okay. Sorry.
So this museum is one of what I believe to be like maybe 5 legs of a museum tour that I'm on right now.
Oh, awesome.
And that's where
wow.
I'm currently showing right now at that museum.
Nice.
And what it is Los Angeles artists that have Latin descent.
Fantastic.
And I have one piece that was on loan from the Ultimate Group, which is, do you guys know Zach De La Rocha?
Yeah. The
Lead singer from
that band.
Rage. Yeah.
Yeah. Rage Against the Machine.
Mhm.
That's it.
So that family owns like a fairly large piece that the museum's borrowed, and it's on tour.
Oh, yours?
Yeah.
Oh, awesome.
Oh,
And
nice.
then I have like another large piece that the gallery has had in storage, and they lent them museums that as well. And so those 2 pieces have been floating around, and the last leg of it is in Tijuana.
Oh, cool.
And I
Are you-
think that's next year.
Are you going to go?
I want to go.
Cool. Where's it at now?
Oaxaqueños.
Where's that?
I don't know.
Oh, okay.
Somewhere in Mexico.
I got you.
In
Yeah,
Mexico.
yeah. It's a pretty big place, though, but okay.
It is a pretty big
Is
place.
would that be in the south? You have no
I
idea.
have no idea.
Okay. Well, all right. We can't go to that then.
What other artists are in the
Yeah.
show?
Yeah. Los Angeles artist would let Albert Reyes. Is he in
Albert Reyes.
it? Is he in it?
Yeah.
Oh, cool. I was
Wow.
kind of saying that as a joke, thinking he'd be left out, but I'm glad he's in it.
I only know this as when you asked me, I was like, that's who I was about to say, because someone had posted some photos of my works from the show, and they also had posted some of his neon lights.
Wait, he does neon lights? This is a different guy.
Yeah, I think it's a different
Yeah,
guy.
right. A different guy. Yeah.
No.
Must be a different Albert Reyes.
Yeah, Albert Reyes does like drawings for the most part, and maybe some paintings, but no neon lights. That's a different dude.
What describe some of his works to me?
Oh, they
Kind of folksy.
Yeah, a little bit folky,
A little
but-
bit of a street art kind of aesthetic.
yeah,
Kind of borrows from.
Did he do like the peachy folders?
Did he do no?
Did he kind
Maybe.
of recreate them?
Oh, I don't.
Yeah, I think he did.
Did he do that? I feel like maybe, but I feel like that's somebody else too that might have did that. Actually, I think that's somebody else.
I know he does. He did
Like somebody was famous for that, like well known for that. I don't think it was him.
His most recent work, he's like doing like artwork on like the blank side of book covers, and
Yeah,
you
but he
know.
does like sometimes it's a little bit of social commentary. Sometimes it's just celebrities that he likes or dislikes, and he'll draw them and stuff like that. I don't know if it's the same guy. I kind of feel like
I
it's not
think
the same
it
guy.
is.
Really?
Wow, I did not know Albert.
Okay.
Okay.
Let's hope it's Albert Reyes, our buddy. So,
Yeah. We love him.
yeah. Anyway,
All right.
that's a great one.
That's cool.
It's gonna suck if it's not.
It's okay. Well, he'll understand.
If
He's been left out before. So
So, but he's the guy I'm thinking of has kind of like solid. He has like writing sometimes in his works.
yeah.
Yeah.
He
but-
does neon.
Neon lights?
Wow.
Like he'll do neon and then do paintings under it.
I don't know about that, but okay, maybe.
Maybe.
Who knows?
Yeah,
I don't know. I
mean,
can't.
like, you know,
I can't pretend to know everything about Albert, but he listens to this podcast religiously. And he's probably listening live right now, but he's not commenting. Usually he would send a comment, but
Albert Reyes.
It is a little early.
Discúlpame.
yeah.
It's a little early.
That's
so,
true.
Perdóname.
No.
All right, and my number 5 is the launch of Year of Atomic Bird.
Yeah, that's one of the reasons why I wanted you on the show, because you know I saw your show at KP Projects, aka Mary Karnowski Gallery.
Yeah.
Congrats. I haven't seen
Thank
it
you.
yet.
You know, it's a beautiful show.
Thank you very much.
I thought it was really interesting because it was. I mean, when I think of your work, I always think of you using kind of a lot more subdued colors, and this show was very bright and vibrant and like really kind of fun, and the kind of palettes that you chose, you know.
I thought those subdued colors were still there.
Oh yeah,
but I
obviously,
made sure that there was definitely like bright colors.
Yeah.
That was a very deliberate thing too.
Mm-hmm. The kids are all about the bright colors these days.
Yeah.
You know, so.
Like this guy, my trusty phone, helped me achieve that. So, because I did, you know, it took like a year and a half to put the show together.
Mm-hmm.
Excuse me.
What is a phone? Wait, you mean just from looking at other art and stuff like that? Or?
No, so in the year and a half, the show is like almost like 40 pieces. So it's a bunch of work, and some of them are pretty big. And I wrap them up and I put them away. But as I finish a piece, I would take a photo. Then I would create a gallery just on my art on my phone. And so it allowed me, every time I finished a piece, to step back and on my phone look at like all the colors. And so whatever was missing, I would make sure the next piece was filling in the gaps.
Oh.
So I was constantly like, and I'll show you guys real quick.
Please.
Like a good example of.
Yeah.
So these are all my albums, right?
Right. So you're showing
this
us.
one
Yeah, go ahead.
Command Z.
Yeah.
Then I scroll. And
Oh,
this
yeah.
is my
There you
entire
go.
show. So it just allows me to like go like, oh, there's in the show, I don't have enough pink. I don't have enough teal. I already
I
have too
see.
much teal.
Wow. So you can compare all the photos, all the artworks almost in one quick look without having to bring all the art out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's like a constant survey. I'm constantly looking at the show from afar. Because my colors, like, yeah, they are subdued because my base is black, burnt umber, red, and then it goes off from there.
Right. Yeah.
So that, like, almost every single painting, those are like my layers, my underpainting. And I didn't want the entire show to be just muted colors like that. I wanted some brightness. Because I'm also, a lot of my early art, and even till now, my inspiration comes from Mexico.
Right.
Specifically TJ. In that it's just ugly over there. But it's a beautiful ugly. Like you go down there and there's houses that are painted like just the crazy ugliest seafoam green.
It's really
like
garish
half
colors.
of it is split white on top and then the green on the bottom, but it's all old and it's all weathered over, and it has like a bunch of old political posters or murals on top with layered over, and so I used to go over there a lot as a kid, and it just, you know, it always stuck with me. And so that's kind of what I'm mimicking. But
Oh, cool. Are they still? I mean, when's the last time you've been to Tijuana?
I don't remember.
Oh, okay. It's been a while.
It's been a long time, but I used to go a lot when I was a kid.
I've been there a few times too as a kid. I never went like as an adult to see donkey shows or whatever. Did you ever do that?
No.
Yeah, I never once did that. Like it's almost like this myth, but I guess is real. But no, I just went as a kid and with parents, and it was just like we're going there for the day, you know, like a day trip to Tijuana, going to another country. Yeah.
I used to go to. I'm providing like the sad commentary to this podcast right now, but I used to go over there and help and feed families in the dumpster that lived in the trash dumpsters.
Wow.
Like where like the city would just pile up all their trash.
Right.
So these families would go down there and pick from the trash and build cardboard homes out of it.
Oh shit.
Yeah.
Wow.
Heavy stuff. I remember giving a kid, I was going through just like toys that we had brought down, and I gave a kid like all that was left. The kid came really late, and all that was left was this Barbie doll leg, and I pulled it out of the bag, and I was like, oh, I'm so sorry, that's all that's left. And she was just like, please, I want that so bad.
Wow.
Heavy.
Wow.
Yeah.
So your
Damn.
family used to do a lot of humanitarian work?
No, just me. I would go and
Oh.
when I was a little kid in high school.
Uh-huh.
No, just something that I had fell into. So we'd go down and like stay at missionary like outposts and.
Oh,
But the last time I was there, was to go skate because they have a skate park in Mexico.
awesome.
Just the crudest, gnarliest skate park you can imagine. That was just put together in the worst ways, but fun. Yeah.
Well, so, okay, the atomic bird.
Yes. He said hi. He wanted to come. I was like, sorry.
No.
I was like, you have a show right now. You need to stay at the gallery. And it is what it is.
So
I'm sorry.
what is the atomic bird? Like, obviously, I'm assuming, there's symbolism, metaphor, etc. Birds are always great,
Yeah.
symbols. So what is, if you don't mind me asking, like,
Not at all.
why?
So the atomic bird is a bird that lives inside of a bomb,
Okay.
an emptied out, hollowed bomb.
Mm.
And how that happened was that there was, and this is all my fiction that I've been writing up.
Mhm.
There's this tribe of birds.
Mhm.
They're all different species.
Mhm.
And what they do, their job, the thing that's inherent in them is they fly up into the air and they catch bombs before they've dropped and detonated over villages.
No.
These bombs, they kill people, right?
Mhm.
By the thousands. That's the point. And so their thing is they go up, catch them midair, and they take them back to like the village and they hollow them out, bore them out, rip out all like the atomic stuff, that bad energy,
Mm.
and they fill them with them, love. What it essentially means, it's about relationships. So many years ago, 10, 15 years ago, whatever, when I wanted to start making art, I knew that I wanted to make it as personal as possible.
Mhm.
Because I was listening to you guys talk the other day and how derivative the art can be
Mm.
in general.
Right.
And that's really hard to get away from.
Yes.
However, because I can paint a bomb and make it look all rusty and old and dilapidated or whatever,
Sure.
and it'll always be compared to something that someone else is seeing. If I paint a robot, it doesn't matter.
Mm.
It'll always compare it to something that someone else is seeing. What's different is my personal story. That's what makes my art unique, right?
Sure.
Mhm.
My
Of course. Sure.
experiences, because no one's walked in my shoes.
Right.
And so I knew that, like, I need to tell this personal story. And what I'm going to paint is just the things that I'm attracted to, because I'm an 80s kid, essentially. So I grew up around things that looked cool, like Star Wars. Like, they were the king of making things look old and cool and
Mhm.
rusted over and stuff like that. So back to what I was trying to talk about, like what that story is talking about is a really bad, horrible split in a relationship that I had that lasted like, I think 16 years.
Mm.
And that person that I had split from was trying to drop bombs on me,
Mm.
like on a daily basis. And I won't get too personal as to, I'll just leave it at that.
Yeah.
But these bombs were full of hate. And I knew that to preserve my humanity, because that's how relationships work. Someone drops a bomb on you, then you drop a bomb on them.
Right.
And it's perpetual. And it grows bigger and bigger and bigger, and it gets nastier. I just knew that I wanted to diffuse that. That's funny.
Mhm.
And not respond in the same way. I wanted to be the bird that just rips out all the hate and just fills it with love.
Mm.
So my response was never, I'm going to throw a bomb back at you. I'm just going to tell you, I love you. Not for your sake, but for my sake. Because I wanted to go home and like rest and just know that despite how horrible this person was being, that I treated that human with respect and
Mm.
that I showed them love. And it gave me peace because I also saw that my kids were looking at me as well. And I wanted to be that example for them.
Mm.
And so that's where that comes from.
Mhm.
But even like if you were to go through the show and look at, because there's like bottles which are represent Molotov cocktails, there's numbers and all that stuff. It's just a big accumulation of years and years of collecting symbolism in my work.
Mm-hmm.
And so it's just taking all the stories and just kind of mixing it in. And if we were to like go through it, it would really kind of start talking about like my dad and his history with actually going to war and fighting, and then coming back here and telling me not to go to war, because he went, like in the 80s, he went to Nicaragua, and he left us a tape and told us how to like behave with each other, because he didn't think he'd make it back. He made it back physically, but he didn't make it back emotionally. We lost my dad, but he came back physically, and he was just a different person. But he made me promise not to go to war, because he brought us over here, or raised us over here, so that we can use our talents and our gifts, right? And so that was painting about war is my way of fighting, but using my gifts.
Sure.
Yeah.
Sure. No, that's interesting. Like, you know, the idea of, you know, like I think, you know, when I was looking at the work, I obviously, like, you know, have my own understanding of, you know, symbolism and
Sure.
metaphor and stuff like that. And, you know, I wasn't quite sure what message I got from it. You know, I thought the paintings were beautiful.
Thanks.
And very interesting. I especially love the huge one, the ones on the back right wall. Definitely left an impression on me. But like, you know, the idea of, you know, it's kind of like reappropriating weapons, you know, that I guess were, you know, used against you, you know, and turning them into,
Yeah.
you know, something, you know, the exact opposite of their original intent.
Yeah.
You know?
So something funny happened with the show. So the whole intent was like, I'm going to paint this show about Atomic Bird and all his homies, and what, like a glimpse into what it looks like when bombs are being thrown and they're catching them midair and all this stuff's happening. And I started asking myself all these questions. Well, if they're a community, then what does it look like when a bird catches like a big bomb? And what does it look like when they celebrate each other? What does it look like when they need to feed? And then I paint all this stuff and I answer all these questions, and I look back and I step back and I go, oh shoot, I'm painting about something more. And that more is about my fascination with just culture in general. I like process. The best, not the best, but one example that I have, two examples that I have. One is I went to 3 Armenian weddings. And have you guys ever been to an Armenian wedding?
No.
The best. The food is, it's insane.
I wouldn't doubt it.
Yeah, do you guys
Sounds
like
great.
kebabs and stuff?
Sure.
Oh,
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's an endless servings of just, it's almost, it's too much. It's gluttonous almost.
Oh.
But when you're at like the actual wedding where like they're doing this cultural process, the priest is speaking in Armenian and he's holding up like this cup and he's walking around this altar. I don't know what he's saying. I don't get it. I just know it's beautiful, and I know that it's something that had been passed down from generation to generation, and that's part of their culture. And I love that stuff. Another example is, do you guys know who Dead Can Dance is?
Yeah.
Yeah.
They're playing in LA soon.
Got my tickets.
Nice.
They're on 480 Records.
Yeah.
Yep.
I saw them, geez, when was it? 1996, 595, when they, I don't remember. Anyways,
I've seen them almost every time they've played in LA.
that's awesome.
Wow.
Love that band. So they have a song called Yolunga, and the music video for it, it's beautiful. It's just cut after cut of different cultures celebrating. And like in one instance, it's what looks like Turkish men in their white dresses, and they're just spinning, and the dresses plume out.
Oh, yeah. I've seen that.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
then it cuts to a bunch of like what look like African men and women with beautifully adorned beaded headdresses, and all they're doing is bouncing up and down. Then it cuts to like another culture, and they're doing their thing, and I think it's fascinating.
Yeah.
We're, as a people, we're so diverse and we're so colorful.
Yeah.
And in this show, I wanted to like answer, like make up this culture, and what does it look like when, like one bird, he's before the birds go out and they go on the hunt, he does like the blessing of the hunt. And I'm sorry for the people at home that aren't going to be able to.
We could put it on, show it on the camera too. Hopefully, you'll read.
Yeah.
So he's doing like the blessing.
It's beautiful.
Of the hunt, where he has like his chalice, and he's.
Mind if we?
Yeah.
I'll try it.
Yeah, I got it. Let me know if it's there. How's it?
Yeah. It hasn't gone there yet. We're like, we have a delay, so.
Okay.
Yeah.
And
But it's looking okay.
Is it showing?
There you go.
up?
Yeah.
Am I holding
Oh,
it
yeah,
right?
You are.
Okay.
You can go closer. Hey. Yeah. Okay. So
he has this bombs letting out a bunch of incense, and
that's
he's
beautiful.
swinging it, and he's blessing all the birds before they head up. He's
Wow.
like this high priest in a sense. And in another case, there's a large bird sitting on top of a bomb that he had just caught,
Yeah.
and he's kind of they're doing a procession through town, celebrating him and showing him off.
Yeah.
And so that's what this culture of birds do.
But they do that in different places anyway too, right? Like
They do.
how processions are like a
Yeah.
very big deal in
Yeah.
places like Spain,
Yeah,
and
totally.
not like Madrid, but other smaller cities do it.
Yeah.
With like crazy like sculptures and whatnot. It's
Yeah.
wild. I've seen pictures and people who have gone, but yeah.
And I think
Sure.
in a way, it makes me jealous in a way that I wish, like Spain is a good example. Like I wish we had like the throwing of the tomatoes and like the climbing of the human pyramids. Like I wish we had, I was joking with someone, and I guess like our versions of that would be like everyone gathers together and watches football on a Sunday, but I don't like football. I wish we had the things, but we're just so young
Yeah.
as a culture.
Yeah. Yeah.
But
Where
we don't
the
have-
only
yeah.
things that I have that are cultural are from my family, that's been handed down from our Latino. culture.
Other than that looks completely bizarre is stuff like Burning Man, where you're like, oh my god, look at that weird car they made, or that crazy tank that like has got like this big sculpture on it, right?
Yeah.
But then all that, I don't know what it means, and it's just made for a certain amount of people,
Well,
and
I think
it's
Burning Man's just kind of
yeah,
it kind of pulls out cultural ideas from derivative of
Sure.
Other.
But it's like techno too, and sometimes it's electronic, and then I see like I just seen crazy like just pictures. I'm like, that is crazy.
Well, I was just thinking that a lot of these kind of like the things that you're talking about, Johnny, are like kind of rooted in a lot of old religious practices.
Yeah.
Right. Like so, like taking into
Or it's the opposite. It's not religious, but it's like some pagan thing. You know what I'm saying? It's like,
well, I mean, like religion is,
Yeah.
including paganism
Yeah.
or non, like top 3 religions of
Yeah.
the world kind of stuff. Well, I mean, like even say like, in Japan, like they have like certain festivals where like they have like guys carrying like those gigantic.
yeah, what the fuck is that
And
crazy
then,
thing? Yeah, I know.
Like,
yeah.
and,
That's crazy.
It's like the dragon dance. Is that
That's
religious?
Yeah,
Chinese,
like
yeah.
that's a Chinese thing that's kind of inspired by, I'm not even sure what.
I don't know, but it's rad.
Religion,
That's pretty rad.
Yeah,
Yeah.
like
The
so
drumming and yeah.
mhm,
Yeah.
and then I'm sure they have something in Korea that I just, if
Yeah, everyone
only
just-
Korea like
They
did
just go in.
animation, I would probably fucking know about
Yeah.
it, but but they don't. Or,
I don't want us to lose that stuff, and I want us to
Yeah.
celebrate that stuff.
Yeah. Well, they'll celebrate it where they're at. We just have to figure out our own.
Yeah.
It develops over time.
Yeah.
But there are things here, I think, that are just, but it is just by different ethnicities and different groups and pockets in LA. They do shit, but
Right.
Yeah. We just might not know everything.
Right.
But yeah.
Well, I mean, yeah, I don't know. But okay, so now I'm kind of curious, like what, like obviously, like most people who are like working as artists now have been doing some form of art all their lives, right?
Yep.
But like, you went to art school?
Nope.
No. What did you? Oh, I kind of figured you would be like a, art center kid or something like that.
I worked for Art Center. I've worked for them before, but I didn't go to art school.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, cool.
You're from Southern Cal?
Yeah, I was born in LA. Yeah.
Oh, so what okay. I don't know.
I figured you went to art school too.
Yeah.
I'm surprised.
I wish I did.
Yeah.
And if I joke about like if I won the lottery tomorrow, I would go to art school. I'm being serious.
Yeah.
I would stop working and just spend like the next 10 years just and learning stuff.
Yeah. Yeah.
Cool.
But so I didn't go to school because it's my personality. Like good example, I was on the mat and was doing some jiu-jitsu, and this guy, higher belt, like 3 belts higher than me.
When was this? A while ago then.
Like 12 years ago.
Yeah, okay.
Goes knee on belly, underhooks my arm, spins around, and arm bars me.
Okay.
I tap real fast. Japanese guy too. Big old buff guy. We reset. He does the exact same thing. He must have done it, no joke, 10 times in a row. The exact same movement, and I fell into it every time. And on the 11th time, I was like, okay, I got it. And I stopped him, and he could never do it again. And that's my way of learning. I need to touch it. This sounds really strange. Everything that I know about art, I invented it. No one sat with me and taught me. Like, I invented it, and I know how I got there, and I know why I got there.
All right.
And it took me, I'm still learning.
Yeah.
Like, I'm excited because I already started working on my next body of work. And I'm going to take everything I learned and apply it to that. And I know that in the next 2 years, I'm going to learn even more. But I also recognize that 1, 2, 3, 4 semesters would have gotten me what it took me 5 to 10 years to learn. But I needed to have some form of ownership over that. And that's my personality.
Sure.
I don't recommend anyone do that. I have kids and I want them desperately to go to school. But if it's in them to have to take that route, then it means you just have to work harder.
Wait, so how long have you been like a showing kind of like artist?
I haven't done the math yet. I don't know. I just know, like, I could give you an idea.
Yeah, an idea.
Like,
I know exactly how long I've been showing for, but like, I don't know, like, but
projects, Bo's projects,
right.
First gallery.
Oh, wow.
That's where I started showing.
So that's you kind of you're.
Was that 12 years ago? Roughly?
Yeah, that's like that. Bo kind of started doing stuff around. He started project
Maybe
stuff
less.
like in 2005, 2006, and then like he kind of got his gallery in his old gallery off of Washington Boulevard, like maybe like 2007, maybe earlier than that, maybe 2006, I think.
Yeah.
Maybe, I don't know. Like, I started basically showing in 2003, at Cannibal Flower, and then I did Gallery 1988, and then kind of, got to Copro Gallery, and then eventually Corey Holford, and I, did stuff with Bo and Think Space, but like,
Same trajectory for me.
Right.
So I would probably put myself like a few years after you, for sure. Not when you started. You were before me, for sure. You and Thomas.
Yeah, your work has evolved so much more than mine.
Yeah, hence we thought you went to art school, and all these techniques came from art school.
Yeah, because you still your work. I mean, like, not to lump you in, but like your work has the same kind of general like aesthetic of like the Jeff Sotos and Nathan Oda's, and which is a very art center kind of like look where you're kind of mixing typographic elements with very tight illustrative kind of painterly elements, and then like some like textured kind of like stuff going on in there, and I hope it isn't offensive, but like,
it looks schooled.
it looks very schooled,
Yeah.
and it looks very like you're using like the techniques that you would learn in a institution like an
Sure.
art center.
Well, I would like to think that I'm highly educated, just not formally trained.
Mhm.
I'm informally trained.
Right.
Sure.
And if I'm doing like graphic elements, I started painting because I was designing for, I think, 15 years into my professional career as a designer.
Mm-hmm.
Like graphic designer?
Uh-huh.
Ah,
Mm.
okay.
Yeah.
Just like Luke.
Yeah.
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 My
Yeah, yeah.
background's graphic design.
I was at Disney and almost fresh out of high school. I don't know how that happened. I caught lightning in a bottle and stayed there, and that kind of just opened up everything for me. And 15 years into it, I started losing my mind. Like, I think I had a nervous breakdown in a way,
Mm.
and I needed to do something analog with my hands, and so I knew I needed to paint. So, yeah.
Here you are painting.
I remember.
That's awesome.
Didn't we talk about like doing sign painting before a while ago?
Mm-hmm.
Did you
Yeah,
do that?
I did actually go to school for sign painting.
Okay.
Yeah.
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 Like the fancy, yes, like
Yeah.
kinda,
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
how long ago was that? Was that before you started doing like like?
That was like fresh. That was like 1993.
Oh, that was a while
wow.
ago.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I was in Pasadena at PCC.
Mm-hmm.
That a pretty kick-ass sign department.
Oh, that's cool.
Took it for a few years, and then I was also taking typography. I mean, all my teachers were from Art Center.
Wait, so was this after the Disney stuff, or is that?
No, I tried to go to school for like a year and a half maybe,
Mm-hmm.
and then I knew someone at Disney that needed help,
Mm-hmm.
so I went in and I worked there for 2 days, and at the end of like went in on a Thursday, and at the end of the day on Friday, the producer was like, "You should just stay, don't go back to your job on Monday, just stay here."
Wow.
And so
Wow.
I stayed. So this producer, mind you, I'm I think 18,
Mm-hmm.
19. He used to throw wild parties at his house.
Mm.
Drugs and just, you name it, crazy ass parties.
Mm-hmm.
But he had a computer with a graphics program on it. So every time we threw a party, I would like, "Can I just sit down?" And so I would just go to these parties and play on his computer
Wow.
and just learn how to render and stuff. And so he knew that. And so when they needed some help, they were in a department that was 5 people deep. It was just 5 people.
Wow.
And their job was to learn about this new thing called the internet. And so he needed some help. So he brought me in, and they were stoked with what I was doing, and they asked me to stay, and I stuck around for like I think good 4 years. And that's where I learned everything. Because a lot of the guys that were there were like former professors that we started hiring on. And so I would go in early to work, and they would start teaching me like 3D and I mean, it's not rocket science. It was easy to pick up. I just had like the concepts, and I had. I always talk about like. I don't mean to like play down or diminish like art school and teachers, and what they teach is super important and much needed for like the career of a young artist.
Right.
And I apologize if I'm taking what you learn in 4 years into like one simple sentence, but it just comes down to making cool.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, I mean, I think that, art school is not for everyone.
Yeah.
Some people.
Shoot, school's not for everyone.
Right. No, absolutely. No, absolutely.
Yeah.
Unless you're like, an Asian person who wants to be in good standing with their parents, but like, but the thing is that like,
Even me, my brothers and sisters have master's degrees, and my dad had like 5 degrees,
yeah.
and he was a perpetual student. And so, they're all looking at me going like, "You are doing nothing with your life. You're not going to school. what are you doing? What's going on? And so once I got the job at Disney, it was super badass to go home and basically like show them a paycheck that was like double than what they were making. That was pretty cool.
Yeah. So
You did that for 15 years?
Before I broke down and started painting.
Uh-huh.
And I still do it. Yeah. I've just managed to stay sane by, one, I'm painting, and then two, anytime we're like in the brainstorming session and we say like, all right, well, what are we going to do for this client and how should we answer these questions? And I'm always like, paint a mural. And so I've had a chance to...
Oh, you still work at Disney or do stuff there?
is that what you said?
Yes and no.
Is that what you meant? Like, that you're balancing your sanity by working, doing design and computer related stuff by also painting? Is that what you're suggesting by?
Yeah. Well, I'm always looking for ways to bring my painting into work.
Okay.
I see. Yeah.
So I'll go on stretches at work where I won't even touch the computer, and sometimes I'll paint at work. That'll be part of my job. Because we'll manage to convince a client to allow us to paint a mural for like 9 Inch Nails. We'll fly out to London and paint a mural over there, and then another mural for them in LA off of Melrose. And so stuff like that gets to happen once in a while, and so it's special for me.
Wow.
Is it under your own name, or is it just you're doing exactly what the client wants?
Sometimes it's under my name, and sometimes it's what the client wants. We've even, like, for example, for like Spider-Man, I forget which one, but we had Andrew Hamm, Ikundayo, Mike Alvarez all go out and in charge of their own teams around the U.S. Doing graffiti on the street, trying to convince the players that were taking part in this campaign that we did for Spider-Man that they were doing something illegal. And so like Andrew Hamm was in charge of taking this group and pulling up in a van with stencils and convincing them that the wall that they were about to tag on was just some wall that he just found, and we need to like put up our Spider-Man stencil here. But the truth was that like all that stuff had been paid for and okayed. And
Wait, is this the animated movie or
no?
Oh,
it was
early Spider-Man a while
early
ago.
Yeah.
Wow, that's funny. That's hilarious.
Oh.
So Andrew was in on it, but the other guys didn't know.
Exactly.
Oh my god! What the fuck? Oh my god! So I wonder if how long did it take for them to figure it out? Or the artists are to this day going, "Oh my god! All those stencils we did was bullshit." Damn.
I don't think they cared
No, probably not.
because it's still pretty badass.
Yeah.
You're pulling up in a van, racing and stopping really quick. Door flies open. Everyone has gloves on and putting it up, stencils, spray painting, and just getting in and driving off. It's fun.
Cool.
Well, I'm sure if something like that, if it was done in front of a police, a law enforcement, personnel, it would be suspicious looking, right?
Well, in one scenario, there was a cop nearby, and I think he was well aware of it being legal. And so I think the players were like, why isn't he doing anything like this? Why is he letting us tag this wall?
It's funny though, from just being on the neighborhood council in like this district, I know that, for example, traffic, like a traffic cop, like, who pulls you over for speeding or running a stop sign, at any given moment, there's only one. So there's 30,000 people in this district. There's only one traffic policeman driving around in a car. That's it. I mean, there are other police cars. They're going to and from to do something different, or they're doing, they have a different task. But actually, just for traffic, there's only one. So, for example, in a meeting where the police comes, I'm like, we're saying, oh, there's a problem here. The stop sign, everyone keeps running it, and the police, the officers there is going, do you realize there's only one of us who can actually, so we can't send more people. There's only one on the road. So if you get a ticket while driving, more than likely you're very unlucky. So having a police person bust you for graffiti actually is probably pretty slim, like in the act, unless somebody calls the police and they come. But just for a police person to just drive by and goes, oh shit, they're doing graffiti, probably is right now, harder than ever to basically get busted for that. Because there's just not many policemen around. They're so stretched that they're not on the road.
Do you hear what he's saying to you right now? Do you get the message?
Yeah.
Because I think I understand
Yeah,
what
yeah.
you're trying to tell me
Yeah.
right now.
Yeah. So you can speed. You can kind of roll stop that stop sign. And if you get caught, you're the unlucky one.
And you could
But
like paint up walls, you know.
there's just not enough police officers out there. And yeah, there's only one patrolman at
Yeah,
any
the
given moment.
odds are in your favor.
Really high. But of course,
Yeah.
if someone calls the police, they're going to come. So then you better be ready. But if no one's going to call and you're just completely, no, man, it's
golden.
It's kind of fucked up, you know. I wish I didn't know that, but that's what I've heard that repeatedly at meetings where I'm like, why aren't there more police here? And they're just like, there's just one person. That's why. Like, at any given moment on the road.
This is fucking West Los Angeles, man. We're not talking about
Yeah, I know.
Yeah, I know what you
fucking,
mean.
like
Yeah.
less affluent areas. We're talking about
I'm not talking about Ballin Park or Monte.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I don't know how many are out there, but there's just one out here, and that's not enough. Even for here.
I guess. Well, that I think. Like West Los Angeles isn't necessarily known as being a high crime area.
Oh, there's petty crime is huge out here, right?
Right.
Gigantic, like people breaking into cars. It's all the fucking time,
Yeah,
every
like the
day.
police don't do shit for that here.
No, but they won't bust anybody in the act or even possibly see them. Impossible, because there's only one.
So basically, if you want to steal a car stereo,
You have a high probability of getting away with it. Yeah.
Wait, but you were complimenting them earlier
The detectives.
in the detectives.
But they're in the office, like they're not out, you know.
Yeah, they're not-
So they're trying to solve the crime, so they're
Yeah.
pretty good at it. But you've got to, make a police report.
Well, here's the thing. Like, even after you
Yeah,
made
it's
that
tough.
police report too, about that one guy who shoplifted, they're not going to send someone over to
Of course
fucking
not.
not.
No. They already told me that. They said, no, nothing's going to happen. I'm like, yeah, I know nothing's going to happen, but this person's threatening to sue me, so I need to file a police report to make it official that he committed a crime, that you know about it, And they're just like, oh, I see. So because they said that, for example, people break into people's houses,
Yeah.
right, to burglarize it. They get injured in the house, like they fall through a skylight or something. They sue the homeowner. Like
Yeah.
burglars actually sue the homeowner for things that have happened while they're trying to steal from them.
I
he
see
said
where
that
this is going. This
it's
show
crazy.
is going right
it's
now.
crazy. No, okay.
I can
Let's go back to
I can
love, everybody.
steal.
Let's go back to
If
love.
I'm gonna,
Love,
no,
dude.
this is
These-
educational.
This is
we
a
need
little
to know
bomb.
these things.
Let's diffuse this bomb, and turn it into love. Let's put it the other way. Yeah, let's diffuse this here. We're good. Anyway,
Well, I know one of the things that Eric has, likes to mention when it comes to you is that you're just an ass-kicking machine. Like,
Well,
I think I would describe it different, but yeah, so you're a black belt in jiu-jitsu for a while, right? Well, at least 5 years, correct? Maybe a
I
lot.
think I'm on my 5th year.
5th year? See,
Yeah.
I could remember it because I'm afraid. Because I remember you were a brown belt before that, and I was like, oh, brown belt's fucking badass. That's 8 years at least of training, unless you have some fast track to get there, right?
That's normally it's 9,
Yeah? Okay, see.
because then it's the shortest year, and then you get your on average, everybody's different.
Mhm.
Then you get your belt at 10 year,
Yeah.
which is the longest belt to get in any
Mhm.
martial art. Some people get it in 15 years. Some people get it that are phenoms in 4 years.
Sure.
But
Like
10 is the average.
BJ Penn or something,
BJ
right?
Penn
Really
got it,
fast.
and I believe under 4.
Yeah.
First American.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Very quick. But I know you do jujitsu, which is, there's a lot of hotheads that do jujitsu from like my time of doing it, but you're like the opposite. You're really calm. And I realize, oh, you're a teacher. You have nothing to prove in that way, I think. But I've met so many that are blue belts that just want to fight. Like, when I was doing jujitsu, the blue belts would talk about the weekend of fighting. Like, I went to this bar and I did this thing and I ripped his arm apart, and I was like, oh no, like that's where I'm at, And then there's blue belts just bragging about how they just destroyed somebody who knew nothing. Really unfair, right?
I have so many speeches when I would teach.
Yeah, it's a bummer. So I would be bummed. I'm a white
Yeah.
belt, and I'd just be like, oh man, why am I here?
Here's one of my speeches. It's basically like, you come here because you want to learn self-defense. You want to learn how to kick someone's ass. But if you stick around, because typically, I don't know what the numbers are. I'm going to just throw it out there, but I think it's 70% drop off at blue belt.
Or maybe I think it's higher.
Yeah.
I think a bunch just drop out of white belt like me. So
And it's
yeah.
it's hard to get beyond that. So if you were to see it through into your purple, into your brown, you would realize that it's no longer about, I want to be good at self-defense, or I became good at kicking ass. You realize that you become good at running away, because that's what I'm good at. That's what I've learned,
Sure.
is that I'm good at running away. Because the last thing I want to do is deal with a lawyer and going to court. And frankly, like, I don't want to hurt someone. Like, it would be the worst. Like, if I'm going to get into a fight, I wouldn't want their credentials. I would want to know that they're, like, pretty skilled and it would be a fair match. But I don't want to fight someone that, like, there would be no honor in that. It would be, I won't talk about me. I'll just talk about my friends. But their ability, guys that train a lot, their ability to, like, so I was at this academy, and it was very like you would get in like a random guy coming in, sometimes 6'4", buff, and like, hey, I heard you guys do jiu-jitsu here. I want to see what's up and challenge. And sometimes they would look at me and go like, well, you're almost kind of like the enforcer, so go fight.
Right.
Sometimes the guy that would come in would be like 5'5", not too big, but, you know, a man, full-grown man, and go, oh, I want to challenge this jiu-jitsu thing. I want to see what you got. And I remember one day, the professor, he pointed to one of the smallest girls in the academy and goes, all right, your turn. You deal with him. And that was the most demoralizing thing I had ever seen. Because she steps up, and this grown man is like, please. Like, he was like, no, give me a man. I want, like, I want a real challenge. And we're like, no, she'll give you a challenge. And she proceeded to just destroy this guy. And mind you, she was like maybe in 10th grade.
Wow. Yeah.
She was 100 pounds maybe.
Does that happen a lot? Do, like, people just walk off the street like, I'm here to challenge your dojo or whatever?
At one of the academies I was at, it happened more than you'd
Oh my gosh.
more than you'd realize.
That's really sad.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's got to be happening less now. I assume by now, like for martial arts, I mean, everyone knows what people have to believe in jiu-jitsu at this point, that it's like you can't know nothing and just go against a jiu-jitsu guy and expect something good to happen. Right?
You would think.
Yeah. I don't know.
Like we were talking earlier.
Yeah.
You can't fight in the UFC without knowing jiu-jitsu.
Yeah, for sure.
Or at least having some form of ground game.
Yeah, absolutely not.
And a lot of times if you watch a UFC match and no one goes to the ground, and then someone that doesn't know anything will say, see, no jiu-jitsu. And I said, no, it's because they both know jiu-jitsu that it didn't go to the ground. Because they both know that what would happen if they go to the ground. So they're on purpose. They're staying on their feet.
Sure.
Because they're trying to keep that from happening.
Yeah.
Because no one wants to go to the ground with that Gracie.
Yeah, absolutely
He's
not.
the last guy no way Cub would go to the ground with him.
Absolutely not.
He would destroy him on the ground.
Yeah, if it was just rolling around,
Yeah.
it'd be awful.
Yeah.
It's weird too because it's a sport, but there's so many levels to it. I mean, there's black belts that aren't the same as other black belts, and there's like
No one's created equal.
Yeah, it's
No way.
completely interesting.
Yeah,
it's weird.
Some have gotten black belt because they've won an ADCC and they can get it within 4 years. I mean, BJ Penn,
Yeah.
I don't know like what awarded him specifically the black belt, but he beat a Gracie as a purple belt
Yeah, for sure.
as a little kid.
Yeah.
And that's what propelled him to get it so fast.
It was all like learning from a garage and watching videos and stuff. It's just crazy. But are you still teaching? Are you doing that still?
No, but I taught a little bit on Sunday.
Oh, awesome.
Yeah.
Are you going to get back to that now that the show's done and you have time, or?
I don't want to teach anymore. I
Oh,
just
okay.
want to. I am going to get back to jiu-jitsu. I had to like take a break from jiu-jitsu because everything suffers. I have so many like loves in my life, and when I'm in like show mode, everything suffers, unfortunately.
I think that's what happens to a lot of artists, right?
Oh, yeah.
It's just it encapsulates your life, everything, right?
Oh yeah. I'm curious to see what happens because I've got a show in March, and that's just literally right around the fucking corner. You know, I haven't started. I mean, and so wonder what's going to happen with the podcast.
Oh, no.
We might have to Skype it.
Oh,
You know,
all right, we'll figure it out. So I know you also did funny. I don't know if it's funny. Artist jujitsu days, right? Where you get a lot of artists and I see them wearing gis and stuff. I'm like, oh my God, what is going on here?
Yeah. So
It's really interesting. It seems like you do it once a year.
it used to be once a year.
Yeah.
So we would, and you were invited when we
Sorry.
were doing them. Yeah. So it was started between myself, Mike Maxwell, Deffer,
Yeah.
and trying to remember who else was there at the first one. Anyways,
Just looks the jujitsu it's always got this ending photo where everyone's kind of like, it's like a posed like class photo.
yeah,
Always love those.
that's
And
our
this-
favorite thing to do
yeah. And then
after every match. 'Cause
yeah, and I see Aaron Woe's in it. I'm like, whoa, he's there. He was doing it.
he was there
Yeah.
the day that Andrew Hem went too.
Oh, cool. I just saw that picture and I'm like, Aaron Woe's is so like recognizable that
Mm-hmm.
I saw that picture and I'm like, oh shit.
Because
How
everyone knows everybody. Like,
yeah.
what's different about jiu-jitsu is that it carries a culture with it,
Yeah.
a very cool culture. So there's jiu-jitsu brands like AP or Shoyo Roll that will commission a lot of these artists like Deffer and do like really neat
Rash
clothing
guards?
collaborations
Yeah.
and rash guards.
Sure.
And, murals at, Art Basel. And so it's very connected to counterculture.
Yeah,
So in turn, and they're from Guam or a lot of guys that play jiu-jitsu from Hawaii as well.
Yeah.
And so in turn, everybody knows everybody.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah.
It's interesting. And Ruka that's a big jujitsu thing too, because of the owner of that company, right?
Yeah. The owner also has like a full-blown dojo or academy inside of
Oh, I saw it. He has an octagon,
Yeah.
full-on octagon, and then a dojo there too. Yeah, right
and
next to the
it's-
octagon.
All the walls are painted by
Yeah, it's all art. It's art. It's got a crossover with art.
I'm trying to
wow.
I don't know the artist on that one, but he had Barry McGee art outside of the building. But
Yeah.
I mean, his dojo thing is just part of the warehouse where all the T-shirts are. It's right next to where the T-shirts are. You got like a shitload of T-shirts, and then there's a octagon.
I want to
It's wild.
describe the artist
I-
that painted.
I don't remember the art though. Maybe it wasn't there yet.
I know the artist, and I want to describe his art to you, but for me to describe his art, it would start to become kind of offensive because then I'd have to say, oh, he's that one guy that copied that.
Oh no.
I'm going to just shut up, I think.
That's awesome. That's like super discipline to do that for that long. I mean, you did survive out of most.
Yeah.
Like I said, I bailed after like 5 months.
Yeah, it turns into a lifestyle thing.
Yeah, it
Yeah.
really is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I miss it. I miss it so bad. I'm extremely out of shape, and so I'll go like once every like 3 months, and that's no way to enter like an academy as a black belt, because when you step onto the mat, you have a big X on your head.
Right.
And like, I mean, this was from just on Sunday, someone like overzealous attacking me and scratching me in the forehead.
Another black
Oh.
belt or a blue
No.
belter. Oh,
Yeah,
you're
someone
rolling with
lower.
it.
Yeah.
Oh, don't do that.
They're the most dangerous. too.
Yeah. See, that's the difference is he's professional enough as a black belt to know where to go and where not to pull extra because you might hurt somebody. He knows the levels, so you don't hurt people, right?
Yeah.
But a blue belt doesn't know. But they know the moves, but they can hurt you because they don't know when to stop and slow down. And, like I had an experience too, just that I was a white belt and I was rolling with a purple belt. Kevin Casey, right? He became
Yeah.
he threw me on my head and he was like, you're supposed to roll. And I'm like, I didn't know. You threw me on my head, like I was supposed to roll out of it. And he was like, you didn't roll. And I'm like, I didn't know. I'm a white belt, man.
Yeah.
Just started, right? I didn't know. And then Hoxton, Hickson's son, right? Did jujitsu thing. And I didn't tap but he had me and I didn't tap because I was like, well, I don't really feel anything. And then he went really hard and it was like a big crunch. And I was like, oh, my arm is really injured now. Like I'm done for a while.
Wow.
And I tapped and no, but I was like, because I didn't know he had me in something, but I was like, I don't feel anything.
Yeah.
I feel fine, and then
Yeah, that's
he went too far and then crunch. I heard a crack
Yeah.
and I was like, fuck. So that's one of the things that just discipline of,
again, another
understanding, yeah.
one of my speeches would be like, you're my training partner. Why do I want to hurt? If I hurt you, I hurt me.
Yeah.
Because then I don't have a training partner anymore. But
Yeah.
for me, I think the most fun thing to do is to like take it to the limit to see where will my arm really break, or where will I really pass out. Because I think like in jiu-jitsu, it's such a natural thing to like feel like you're about to get hurt or pass out, and you tap out instantly. But there's something really beautiful, I think, about I guess the way I can describe it is because I'm an artist, I picture two guys in cold, dark water in the middle of an ocean, and they both latch onto each other and drag each other down, and it's cold and lonely, and it's see who can like take that the longest, and whoever gives up right is the one that floats back up. And yeah, I don't know, that's my visual of what jiu-jitsu is.
Whoa. Yeah. More artists need to do jiu-jitsu, I think.
Oh, but this artist role,
Yeah.
you know,
Luke will come to it next time.
half were made up of musicians,
Uh-huh.
from like but well-known musicians to visual artists, and like everyone was just coming out of the woodwork,
That's awesome.
because it speaks to the nature of being creative, because
Sure.
there's your foundation,
Yeah.
and then you get to build on top of it any way you want. There's no rules.
Yeah.
Where in like say karate or any like very structured formal martial arts, there's like a certain cadence or certain rules and steps. In jiu-jitsu, you know all the foundational stuff, now make up whatever you want. And so it speaks to like the creative mind.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Awesome. That's a good way to explain it. I also wondered how there was I knew there was it felt like there was a correlation too, because lots of visual people seem to like jiu-jitsu a lot.
Mhm.
Yeah. It's amazing.
And then technical people too, because
Yeah.
it is a game of
Yeah.
chess.
Oh,
Chest.
chest. Yeah.
That's a different kind of jiu-jitsu.
That's true. Lots of geeks do jiu-jitsu as well.
Yeah.
Yeah. Nerds and geeks like it. It's odd.
But here's what's we don't have to keep
Yeah.
talking about
I'm
jiu-jitsu.
sorry.
It's the great neutralizer, in the sense that on any given day, you could be on the mat with like hardcore, like reformed gang member training with like a DA,
Mm-hmm.
like, or like the head of like some county's legal system or whatever, a judge, you know,
Sure.
or a millionaire.
Yeah.
But everyone on the mat, the culture is everybody's equal.
Yeah. That's cool.
And if you're 6 feet tall, if you're like 7 feet tall or 4 feet tall, when you're on the mat and rolling, everyone's the same height. So it really does knock everybody down to a basic level. So you like, brain surgeons, like highly narcissistic brain surgeons come in and
What is that? Scares me.
and they're doing jiu-jitsu, which is dangerous for them. And they're doing jiu-jitsu with, like, again, like a former ex-con, but everybody's equal.
Awesome. Yeah.
The trip.
That's rad. So what's next? Are you lining up other shows except, or you said you have another body of work you're already starting?
Yeah, I started like the week I delivered to MK, I already started sketching for the next body of work.
Wow.
Like what would be like the next story, like the next arc within this story of Atomic Birds, on what I want to tell moving on from here. I just can't wait. I'm already like, so my art store, I just found out today in the morning, closed down, which is Swain's.
I heard of that. There's a chain though, or is
No,
it
it was just
one?
one, yeah.
Okay, I thought, yeah.
And so I went there today because I needed to pick up some of my wood. They're cradled panels. And so on my way here, I went down to
Wait, where is Swain's?
Swain's was in Glendale.
Okay.
Yeah. They had never been to Swain's before.
No.
I heard of it, but
Yeah. They were in the shopping center and they were pumping. And then last year they decided to move into like this more industrial area where no one was going.
Oh,
Then 70 years, today they closed their door.
wow.
Yeah, it sucks.
Rest in peace, Swains.
Yeah, rest
Yeah.
in peace.
Was
So
it a mistake? Do you think that them moving was a mistake?
I have no idea.
Oh, okay.
I can only assume that it was because they made that move. Because every time I would go in to the new place, it was crickets.
Wow.
No one was ever in there.
Was it bigger? Like a
Yeah.
bigger space or something like that, and they just thought
Yeah.
it would.
But I bet
Yeah,
you it
it's
was
tough.
cheaper because where they were at.
Yeah.
It's just no one was going there.
Wow.
It's a bummer.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then so what I ended up doing was I went into the studio. I just started panicking because I was like, how am I going to create if I don't have wood? And so I just started calling the manufacturer, called Treckle, called Blue Rooster, and just seeing who could build stuff for me. And I ended up finding, I forget what they're called, but it's Crayola's art store that he goes to next to Nova Color.
Somewhere in Culver City,
Yeah.
I guess.
Do you know what that one's called? Like,
No, I don't know.
I always just go to, I don't know, there's a Blix in Pasadena that I go to, and then there's the Artist Craftsman that I go to in downtown.
Graphades
Oh, okay.
Oh, yeah,
Yeah,
right.
yeah.
Okay, yeah. I
Yeah.
know where that is.
card.
Yeah, no,
Sorry,
it's
guys.
it's off of La Cienega.
Gotcha.
And kind
Yeah.
of near like Washington and
So you can still get wood panels.
Yeah, I found, so they're in Culver City on La Cienega Boulevard, 3051 South La Cienega. They're in Long Beach, Agora Hills.
Graphades is kind of a chain, man. There's a bunch. Yeah.
So they have panels there.
Oh, cool. They used to be in
So-
Santa Monica too. Those
Okay.
are Graphades there, but it's
Do
gone.
you paint just on wood, or do you paint also on like the pressed woods, the pressed particle?
I like the wood. I like the birch. Yeah.
Mm.
Yeah. I think, and I like how sturdy the paintings are versus like if canvas, I just have this fear of, so like if you have a baby,
Mhm.
I won't hold your baby until the soft spot on his head hardens
Right.
because I have a phobia. Just like I won't paint on canvas because I have a phobia.
Wait. So your gigantic painting in the like, how big was the biggest painting at the Atomic Bird Show?
Those were on canvas.
Okay, I'm like, but wait, how big was that? I mean, it was huge. Like,
Yeah, those were like 8 feet something or other. Yeah,
yeah.
those were.
There's
so
a limit to how big you could go with wood.
There is a limit on how big you can go. Although, like Treckle,
Mm-hmm.
they'll build like cradled panels and then they'll wrap them in linen, and they'll go as big as you want. I mean, I've painted on wood. I've painted like 20-foot pieces on wood. So,
Oh.
yeah, you can go as big as you want, I guess.
But the warping on, if it warps, I mean,
Yeah.
like that's
Yeah, you don't want that.
you know.
Yeah.
I mean, like, did you use metal for those big ones, or did you use wood structures?
Wood.
Mm.
Yeah.
The okay, well, I mean, like, do you have like a kind of, are you like an indie kind of art, supply store kind of person, or like does like, do you like poo Blix and like the other, like,
I don't-
Michaels or whatever,
I work on top of a Blix, so I don't mind going there because it's just convenient.
Yeah.
I don't mind going there for like maybe paint,
Mm-hmm.
but I haven't gotten brushes in such a long time. Treckle was giving me brushes for a while, and so I kind of still have like a big pull that I'm still using.
Mm.
But no, I love going to art stores. Love going to art stores.
Right.
So Swain's, I was going there a lot for stuff. I love going to Blue Rooster. I like the neighborhood it's in, and I like Nick a lot. He's a purple belt in jiu-jitsu, so we've trained a lot before.
Who's that? Oh, at Blue,
The owner of Blue Rooster.
Blue Rooster.
Yeah.
Wow. That's in Silver Lake, am I right?
Is
Ron?
that Silver Lake?
Something like that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
next to the Children's Hospital, or a block up from it.
Yeah. They have
Yeah.
like a culture there, it seems like a lot of seminars and stuff like
yeah,
that.
they do. They do
Yeah.
awesome stuff.
Yeah.
And on any given day, like some like crazy badass painter will just walk through, and you can sit down and just shoot the shit.
Mm.
Cool.
And then they have like a space in the back, almost like a bar, where they do like some of the classes and stuff like that. And I think that's where like Ken Garduno and a
Oh,
bunch of other people will do like their
drink and draw?
Thursday- Yeah, the
drink and draw. Oh, it's there?
I think so.
Oh, wow. I
Yeah.
thought it was at a bar. I
Well,
mean, I
there's
guess
a
that is
I
a
mean,
bar.
the
bar.
sketch
They have a-
party one is at a bar. I know that.
Yeah.
And I think
Or-
Ken's usually there.
Maybe I have it wrong then.
But then I know like Van Arno does like something on Sundays
Yeah.
at the Blue Rooster.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
So yeah, I like going to different art stores. I think art stores in London are awesome.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Why or what's? I've never been to one in London, but
Yeah, neither have I,
Yeah.
actually.
Man, I don't remember the name of the brush company. There was just a lot of brushes there that I had never seen here before. Just really pretty, bright handles. Last time I painted a mural out there, the company had paid for all those art supplies, and so we got to keep everything.
Mm.
And so we bundled it up and told our fixer to like ship it to us, and they never did.
oh, come on.
That hurt. I'm still bitter and holding on to that.
I imagine, yeah, I mean, it makes sense that, like, you know, certain art supply stores will have, like, in different countries will have their own different kind of,
Yeah.
you know, thing, you know.
So what are you using, like your paint stuff? Or is it just like Winsor Newton? Or
For my brushes?
no, the paint. Actual
Oh, the paint?
Is Winsor
Are you
Newton?
oil
No, wait.
or are you acrylic?
Acrylic
yeah.
and house.
Mm.
Oh,
So Home Depot, here's a secret. Learn from this.
oh, is this illegal?
No,
Oh, okay.
we now know that the illegal secrets come from you.
Well, Andrew Hem told me a Home Depot paint trick, but okay.
And I think I learned it from Ikundayo,
Oh,
which
yeah.
maybe Ikundayo learned it from Andrew
Oh,
Hem.
okay.
Maybe. Is it the Oops department?
Yep, that's the one.
Yeah.
It's illegal. This is illegal, everybody. Kind of.
What?
Well,
Okay.
I mean, do you know about Oops paint?
No.
So my theory is, I think that you get homeowner, guy, girl, doesn't matter. They go in there and say, I think I would like this ugly teal. Can you mix it up for me? And they mix it up and they're like, oh, just give me white, because there's no way I'm going to paint my bedroom this ugly teal. And then it just gets thrown into like the Oops department,
Mm.
and they sell it for $1, $2.
Really?
Yeah, so you can
So
get the
you can-
color you want, you know.
But they're all our colors, because they're all the rejected colors that no one in their right mind is going to actually paint their living room with.
So you go to a Home Depot, you go to the paint section, you have them mix the color for you.
No,
No.
they're already pre-mixed
Oh,
paints
so-
that are.
Oh, I thought you were okay. Gotcha.
Yeah, they're all pre-mixed paints that are going to get thrown out.
Yeah.
Oh.
So, but I heard
and you get it at a discounted price, or like
Mega cheap.
yes, I heard in the
Oh.
past I heard they add color to it now. But I heard in the
Oh.
beginning when they weren't onto it, you can actually get the color you want. They'll mix it for you, then you just leave it in the store and come back the next day, and then find it in the Oops department for really cheap. So then Andrew told me that they started adding purple and teals to everything and mixing it with a different color, so you can't get your color anymore. So he said that's why his palette were Oops colors, because it was all those colors. That's what he said. But in the beginning, it was you were able to get any color you wanted because you're the one doing it.
Okay, so now this brings up an interesting
It's so
kind of
funny.
thing, and that is that like, the problem with house paint. I mean, like the reason why like I buy like, you know, like golden acrylics or
I use
like, you
mostly
know,
golden.
yeah,
Yeah.
is because I want to believe that it is, you know, the better pigment that I can be able to find that is designed to be at least somewhat archival, you know. But the problem with house paint is like, you know, they're like, you know, you have the issue with like, you know, Mark Rothko's. Like apparently Mark Rothko's are like literally just falling apart because he was using house paint to paint, you know, those paintings. And apparently like maybe, I'm not sure whether or not those paints are designed to have the archival quality that, you know, say, you know, like $10, you know, you buy a tube like this big of like Series 9 fucking cadmium red,
Mhm.
and like it's fucking like a $50 tube of paint, you know, versus like a big old bucket of red, which is like, I don't know, like $7 or $10 or,
Yeah.
you know.
We'll find out in 20 years.
Like, you know, like has the formula has house paint been the formula for
Yeah.
house paint changed from the 1950s, you know, or I mean, like when was Mark Rothko active? Like 50s, 60s?
Well, I think that it's safer to touch. I think anything liquid that you use to like strip stings with or paint with
Right.
is safer to be around.
Right. Well, it's not leaded.
Yeah.
No,
Yeah.
that's for sure.
But I don't know. I know certain artists that are friends of ours.
Mm-hmm.
I'll just leave it at that, right?
Yeah,
You
sounds
don't-
better.
I mean,
Yeah, it's fine.
I have no problem outing people, but you know, whatever. It's up to you. It's up to your discretion.
They're just people that I have an insane amount of respect for.
Sure.
I just know that they were using certain paints that maybe like 10 years into the life of the painting, you can tell that there's been loss. But I don't know that it's the paint. I think that it's a different type of paint. Because you'll, like, if you use markers, certain
Right.
kinds of markers,
Right.
they just have like different bases.
Yeah.
And when if it's sitting in the sun too long, and then also I don't know, like, are they gessoing anything, and then are they applying any kind of clear after?
Sure.
I don't know, but yeah, I've seen it, and
Yeah.
it does happen.
Yeah.
Damn.
Yeah.
Damn.
Like, you know, I mean, like varnishing, top coating, I think is just, you know, important. It also, like, I mean, like, I don't know.
Use better paint.
You use the better paint. If
Use the
you're
better
if
paint.
you're selling your work for, you know, not cheap, then use the better paint.
Yeah. We've got a couple of we have a couple of questions from online before we're signing off. So Brian Martinez asks you, how has jiu-jitsu influenced your art?
A lot of ways. I think the most profound way is I was a part of an academy that was, I don't know how to put this.
Where's that coming from? Dog barking. But
Yeah.
anyways, okay.
The back, maybe.
I don't know.
Mm.
We went through like really grueling training camps where, like, if, for example, if it was 100 degrees outside, like in the summer, we would close the doors and turn the heater on
Well,
and train for 2 hours straight. And after like the first hour, you're almost kind of like hallucinating because you've already lost pretty much all the water in your system, and everyone's trying to kill each other. And it just teaches you, like, all of a sudden you you're starting to reach like a different plateau of consciousness, because what is happening to you, your body's just flipping out, you're trying to convince your brain to like push through this. And so it changed like my character. And so if I'm painting for like a year straight and I have to wake up and do like 8 hours doing visual art direction, but I still have to get up early and paint for 4 hours and then come home and paint for another 4 hours, it's easy because nothing was harder than going through like those training sessions. And that was jiu-jitsu gave that to me.
wow.
Yeah.
So it gave you balance,
It gave me,
understanding of the thresholds.
it taught me like how to push it and just grind, like hard grind through things. Because this last year delivering for this show, man, it wasn't easy. That was hard, but not harder than going through some of those training sessions.
Wow.
So much easier.
Cool. Albert Reyes, the guy we were talking about, who actually says he doesn't know if he's in a show with you, by the way, but that's what he said. He goes, I don't know. And then he said, he asks, what's your favorite scary movie? He's a horror movie buff, so.
All right, so I don't watch scary movies. So, but listen to this. So we do, in my professional career, we do filming. And for some reason, we film in what are considered like some of the most haunted places in LA. A lot of hospitals. And so there's been many occasions where I've had to go into like the basement of the hospital by myself to go like, oh, I forgot like a lens cap or something.
Oh, no.
And everybody's cleared out and it's like the morgue. and it's where like if you read up online, it's like, oh, that's like the spot where the most crazy stuff happens.
Wow.
I can do that easily. I don't head trip in any way. You just walk down there by myself, lights are out, look for my stuff, grab it, and head out, and I'm good. And I attribute that to like, I just don't watch scary stuff.
Oh, okay.
And there you go.
Right.
But I've seen, like, I saw It recently. It kind of sucked. The first It was better.
I haven't seen number 2 yet, but
Sorry.
yeah.
It's okay, I haven't seen it either.
I've seen
I've
number
seen the
1
first
though.
one.
Number
Yeah.
1
Yeah.
was good.
Yeah.
Oh, but I want to answer, like, because I have seen some stuff. Like,
Yeah, you saw
I went,
It.
I went to the theater and watched Dawn of the Dead, and that was awesome. I like zombie movies.
Mm-hmm.
I like 28 Days Later.
Oh, yeah.
And
Yeah.
I like the whole, but they're not scary.
They're kind of post-apocalyptic is more.
Well, I mean, I
right?
guess they would like fall as into the genre of scary horror film
Yeah.
kind
Yeah.
of things. Like, yeah, it's always kind of a weird like is it horror? Is it action?
Because there's like, the horror
like-
that's like Jason, you have a character, right?
Right.
But 28 Days Later is kind of a zombie, post-apocalyptic zombie thing, right? So,
right.
Well, people would argue
yeah.
with that. Maybe Albert might argue that because technically some people don't believe that they're zombies. They feel that they're infected.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
So,
But they couldn't, yeah.
Yeah, you can lump them. I think you can lump them into.
But they
like,
can't come
that
back.
genre.
They're
Right.
infected, but basically become like zombies.
Yeah.
They can't come back, right?
Yeah.
It'd become like, oh, back to normal again. No.
Yeah, but I mean, I've seen, but like Poltergeist.
Yeah.
I don't think it's scary, but I've seen it a zillion times.
Yeah, Poltergeist is great though.
Yeah.
You know, Dawn of the
Yeah.
Dead. Dawn of the Dead. Like, there's so. Okay, is that the one where with the It's not the one with like the small group of people in the house. With
I
the
don't think
black
so.
guy and the white woman in the cemetery in the beginning. Which one was that?
Candyman? I don't know.
No, it's a black and white
Oh.
zombie movie.
That's a scary movie.
Candyman.
I saw that.
I did see that one. I saw Candyman a long time ago. I barely remember it. I can't remember which zombie movie that was. It was like one of the original ones. I think it was an early John Carpenter movie. I don't
Oh,
remember.
man.
I think scary movies have one chance. And once it hits you good.
Mm-hmm.
But then after that, I think it's no longer scary. Like there's it gives you that one opportunity where it comes out and gets you really good. But then after that, you kind of settle in and you get comfortable.
Mm.
I'm a bigger fan of like, what was that Bruce Willis movie where he was, spoiler alert?
Die Hard?
No.
No.
If you don't want to know that Bruce Willis was really dead,
Oh, Sixth Sense.
Sixth Sense.
Yeah.
Like
Oh,
that was more mental, right?
yeah.
Like
Yeah.
that to me is.
Maybe you need to watch Asian horror. There's a lot of like freakier Asian horror, like Korean ones and Japanese
I
ones.
think there
What's
has to be
that?
a
Like the-
semblance
the-
of reality.
the-
Yeah.
Oh,
the
not that.
Jiangsu-
That's Chinese ghost, dude.
Yeah,
That's
no,
a Chinese ghost story
Chinese,
shit.
the Jiangsu
that's
are
funny.
like
That's hilarious.
yeah, I love that stuff.
It's amazing. That's like crazy.
I love that stuff.
Yeah, that's so
I actually
funny,
created
man.
a toy inspired by
Really?
that mythology.
That's like
To a
what-
certain-
That's
I mean, it's
genius.
kind of chosen
Those are
for
like
me.
that was like alongside martial arts movies. They made
Yeah.
those
Yeah.
movies. Oh,
yeah, like
crazy.
Mr. Vampire. It's like a
Crazy,
comedy
crazy,
at
crazy.
kung fu.
Will we be
zombie.
long enough for Albert Reyes to tell us what his favorite scary movie is?
I don't know, Albert. Tell us your scary movie. Type it in real quick.
Well-
but yeah, we're past our time
Okay.
by far. But
Just to
keep
tie
going.
it in with
Yeah.
your comment about the hospital basements. So my father used to work for Garfield Medical as a social worker, and when he had his retirement party, they held it in the basement, of the hospital. And I had a roll of film that was already halfway shot with backyard stuff and plants and mom pictures of him and my mom. And I brought that camera along with me, and I took pictures of his retirement party. And the first half of the film was completely normal, right? But all the pictures, for some reason, in the basement had these little weird anomalies in the film, in the picture. they had orbs in it.
Oh.
And orbs are apparently supposed to be some sort of like, ghostly kind of whatever thing, or that's what people like to believe they are. But like, I just thought it was odd that, and I mean, I guess to a certain degree it made sense that it was in this hospital, and it was in the basement. So I don't know.
No,
I don't know.
Look,
I don't know.
I don't in any way denounce if someone has a story and they believe that something really happened. I believe it.
Well, I mean, like, look, I was there. I did not like feel like cold spots or whatever, I mean, I don't really believe in ghosts. I don't believe in any kind of afterlife-y kind of thing. But the thing is that like, I just thought it was unusual that like, it wasn't like some like defunct kind of film, like where like it had these spots, kind of old film where the spots had like been riddled across the entire thing. Oops. I just kind of, it just happened to be in this like little like cluster of like photos that like you'd see these orbs kind of floating around and, all over the place. And I'm like, all right. So, but, I mean, I guess it would make, I mean, like if I wanted to, I guess I could, see it as some weird kind of like, ghosts are real kind of thing. But like, I don't.
I've been in the studio at 4 a.m. and I had a glass door, super heavy door, and the door, it locks open. You have to like push it to actually close the door.
Really?
And I was sitting there working, 4 a.m, out of nowhere, the door just unlocks itself and just closes.
What?
But I'm telling you, my reaction was simply like, I'm working and I look at it happen and I was like, and I just went back to work. 'Cause I don't have time to like, I don't want to invest into that.
Right.
I was that's cool. And then just whatever, and just moved on. And I think that's how I feel about like, if I have to go into a basement of a really well-known haunted place, I just need to get my lens and then go home.
I guess it depends. Like I just got back. I remember like a couple nights ago, I drove into my garage, and I walked out. I was out, stepped out of my car, and I heard footsteps that sounded like it was right above me. And I live by myself in my apartment, so like.
Ooh, the Gundam burglar.
Yeah,
Gundam burglar.
Gundam burglar.
Gundam burglar.
And so I was like, "What the fuck was good? What the fuck is that?" And like, the first thing I did when I stepped inside was I checked to see whether or not my front door was locked, and it was locked and everything. But like, it could have just been like my neighbor. My neighbor. I only have one neighbor in my apartment, and maybe the sound kind of just trailed in a way, so it sounded like it was above me.
My favorite thing is going home and not knowing if someone is in the house still and having to clear your house. I love that.
You do that?
Yeah.
You go like room to room?
Oh, totally. Checking everything. Yeah.
Do you have tells, like things that you put so in case it happens, you're like, that moved, somebody's been here type of thing?
No.
Okay. I was wondering if you have like little things that you do just like, all right, this thing, if it moves, I know what this,
You live with your sons, right?
Yeah.
No.
Oh, I thought you did.
I don't. I get them almost pretty much every weekend.
Oh.
Yeah. So we
3
boys.
Three boys, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. They look like a little posse that comes with you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They're cool kids.
This seems like it.
Really
they seem cool.
kids. Yeah. Any more questions?
Yeah.
Albert Reyes says Night of the Living Dead, and he says you should see Terrifier on Netflix.
Yeah.
And he likes Halloween the originals. And then you have dudes saying we're going to lose all the good colors for the Oops paint because we just let that out. Sherman Williams though has it too, so you can actually go to Sherman Williams and they too do it. And Albert Reyes gets his paint that way, and he's happy with your answer. And there's a dude who loves Jiangxi also. So
yeah.
Full circle.
Yeah, Night of the Living Dead is the movie I was thinking of too. So,
yeah.
With the black guy and the white woman in the cemetery, and like the zombie comes out, and then they run and end up at some house, and there's like this crazy family and blah blah blah, and the black guy dies at the end.
Always.
Always.
Yeah. Yeah. Was there inbreeding in that one? Inbreeding freaks me out.
No,
Oh, okay.
inbreeding.
Oh.
No inbreeding.
Weird inbred things, kind of that's a little freaky.
That's kind of like a Texas Chainsaw Massacre kind of
Yeah,
thing.
it's all. Yeah, that's so weird.
You know,
That's where things get freaky to me.
Texas
I'm like,
Chainsaw
ooh.
Massacre is great. I love that movie. because-
I've seen, like, I say I don't watch scary movies, but like all the Halloweens.
Sure.
I've seen all of that stuff.
Yeah, I've never even seen any of the Halloweens or like the Nightmares on Elm
Yeah.
Streets or anything like that. Just because they just seem kind of stupid to me.
Well, those are funny ones though.
I mean,
Yeah.
and I've seen pretty much almost all American Horror Stories, but they don't feel like scary movies to me.
What about
Right.
Chucky? You like Chucky? That's like hilarious, right?
I've seen one,
Oh, okay. Chucky.
but
yeah.
it's definitely
It's so funny.
it's not my genre.
Yeah,
Right,
it's not
yeah.
mine either. It's just so stupid, but it's great.
My genre are, I love Depression era films
Wow.
Oh.
because
Like 30s.
that stuff it's like a fear of mine, and I love seeing
Like film noir and kind of.
like I like seeing the guy that is like down and out and can't feed his family, and then like figures out a way to like come on top and come out of it and
Oh, okay.
fight. And
Oh, I thought you meant like
Oh.
movies from the 1920s and 30s.
no, I'm saying like
Oh.
recent stuff.
Oh, I thought
guess.
you were talking about like Buster Keaton because he
No.
kind of does that too,
Yeah.
right? He kind of like is the.
Yeah.
Anyway. Yeah. Oh,
And
I
they-
see.
Yeah.
Wait, like what? This.
Yeah, name some,
Yeah,
movies,
yeah,
name
yeah.
some movies.
Well, like any of like the horse racing movies, like
Horse racing movies.
Ah.
yeah,
The
like
Black Stallion?
no,
Oh.
um,
I don't know what a horse racing movie is. There's a horse racing.
Yeah, there is a couple of them.
there's a few.
Yeah, that I could think of.
What's a horse racing movie?
So everything's kind of like a sepia tony kind of.
Oh wait, so these are old movies.
No, they're current movies.
They're current movies. God,
like within the last 10 years.
motherfucker, what's a horse racing movie in the last 10 years? I don't remember one. The Electric Horseman,
No.
Robert Redford. That's like
No.
the 70s. Okay.
No, there's that one that was named after the famous racehorse that came out.
Secretariat.
Yeah.
That's the name of one of them.
yeah.
Oh wow.
But then there's, I'm sorry, I'm drawing a blank.
I've never seen Secretariat.
That's the only horse I even can name. I named it. I'm tapped out on the horses. I don't know any other horse names.
Sorry, I'm not good with movie names.
It's
Oh.
okay. It's okay.
But the Black Stallion.
No.
No. All right.
Yeah.
Interesting though. Okay. Any other genres?
I like when people are stuck on islands,
Oh.
That have to make their
like
way.
survival kind of.
So you like
stuff.
people making it through tough times.
I like that.
Did you like Rambo? I mean, First Blood at least.
First Blood was great.
I mean, it's-
he's
that's
a
part of-
misunderstood guy, back from Vietnam. You know.
I guess my answer to that is that was like 80s, late 80s.
Yeah, we like
Yeah.
the 80s. Yeah.
So anything that came out of the 80s, it's part of my childhood.
Sure.
Yeah.
So the answer is yes to everything 80s. Is
Sea
it?
Biscuit, that movie. Is that the movie? Sea Biscuit?
Seabiscuit's a rad movie.
Yeah. All right. I haven't seen these. All right. Yeah.
All right.
Alrighty.
That was fun.
It was fun.
I hope I didn't.
You did great.
Apologies if I put my foot in my mouth.
About what?
I don't know.
I
Oh.
do that all the time, and you did not go anywhere close to the level of foot and mouth that I like to I end up taking
You
it.
suffer from foot and mouth disease, as
Um,
I do.
no, you were very
You're
measured.
fine. Yeah, you're great.
You're fine and measured, and you're obviously very conscious of whatever. But then, Eric will, like I said, he'll chide me into like
Any
this-
repercussions from you calling out people or
Not one. Huh?
Not one, because the audience that we have is tight.
Yeah. Wow. See, like, it always happens. Every podcast near the end, people start talking at the end on like it was quiet for the first 2 hours or hour and a half, whatever it was on YouTube. And now everyone's just chiming in, just won't shut up.
About-
It's all just everything.
What
It's
is-
amazing.
Yeah,
they're just like
wait.
they're like it's sea something. Oh, sea biscuit? Yeah, sea biscuit. Oh, Albert's like watch There Will Be Blood, and then it's like watch The Lost Boys, and now people are just commenting like nuts.
There
Where
Will
were
Be
you?
Blood is awesome.
Where
I
were you
watched-
guys for the last hour and a half?
I
Netflix
watched-
or whatever. It's
I watch
amazing.
There Will Be Blood like once a month.
Wow.
Whoa.
Whoa.
There's certain movies that I watch.
That's a tough one. Yeah.
Like Wolf of Wall Street. I watch that once a month.
Whoa.
When I was back when I was living in San Luis
Wait,
Obispo.
that's got beatbox in it. Matthew McConaughey, isn't he beatboxing in that? Right? Yeah.
I forget what.
Yeah,
the song
that.
is.
Yeah, that.
Yeah, I can't think of any movies that I would watch like regularly like that.
I like. You know what I like? I like movies where the characters slowly are just degrading themselves, little by little,
Uh-huh.
and then they hit rock bottom. I love rock bottom, and then they come out of it.
Rushmore. You ever see Rushmore?
Yeah,
It's like
He kind of does that as a student, right?
yeah. Well, I
Yeah.
like.
He does it. He does that.
Yeah.
Rushmore's great though.
Then I follow
Yeah.
like
I've seen that one a lot.
those directors. Like, can't get enough of those guys.
Yeah.
Any
Uh.
Quentin Tarantino thing, and Rushmore was directed by
Wes Anderson.
Wes Anderson.
Yeah.
So
Mhm.
I own almost all Wes Anderson movies. Life Aquatic, yeah.
Yeah.
Can't get enough of that.
Wes Anderson.
Just
Quentin
bought Isle of
Tarantino.
Dogs, which is awesome.
I love that
Yeah.
one.
That's
You
a
know
good
why I
one.
like him so much? And Isle of Dogs is a good example. There's a lot of quiet moments where it's just process. So like the opening scene to Isle of Dogs is this Japanese man in a kimono, and he's like doing, I think, the candle thing. And there's not really much talking going on, and it's just process.
Mm.
Yeah.
Love that stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm.
Very cool.
Actually, the opening scene is the drums, but like it's the guys in the drums doing the drum thing.
Okay.
That's what I remember.
I'm going to go back and watch it tonight. And if you're wrong, I'm going to come back.
He's gonna submit you.
And I'm going to armbar you.
Yeah, you're gonna be in submission. Yeah. I suggest you just hold your collar like this and really tight, and you might last a little while before you get something happens. Just protect your neck, protect your arms like this. You know, I think that's the way in jiu-jitsu. Hold your gi and just protect your neck.
Man, I'll break through that so bad.
I know, but that's
I
the
won't
only thing.
even- yeah.
That's the only thing I can think you can do. If you know nothing, do that, and you might last a little longer than doing nothing. Like flailing your arms, you're fucked.
Yeah.
Just sit
Yeah.
there, take it, and just get it over with.
I remember a guy did that to me in a fight in Las Vegas. And he just, big guy was 6'4", huge. And he just like got in like really tight and strong and wouldn't budge for anything. And so I managed to like squeeze my arm in there, and I was just using it as leverage. I wasn't trying to break his grip because there's no way I was going to break the grip. But I used the fact that he was holding on so tight as leverage to be able to use my elbows to dig it into his temple.
Oh, ouch!
And I dug it into his temple so much that he screamed. And when you scream, it's called a verbal submission. So the ref stops the fight when you make a noise. So he was holding on really tight, held on to his limbs where he was holding on tight, and I dug my elbow into the temple, and I heard him go, and I was like, oh, he's gonna do it. So I came back really hard, and I just, and he just screamed really loud, and I looked at the ref, and he was like, all right, this is over.
Wow! Wow!
Wow.
Awesome.
Break the will.
This
Yeah.
is a good one.
So don't do that, Luke. I guess that's not going to
No,
work.
no,
I thought
no,
maybe.
no,
maybe, but okay.
No, conversations, man. Talking,
Talking,
understanding. That's the way to go.
I
no
I,
fighting.
I could be wrong about Isle of Dogs, so I completely. I've
No,
only
I
seen
know
I've only
there's-
seen the movie twice. So.
No, I know there is drums. I see the drums. I just
Yeah, it's
but
like the
part of
spotlight and doing the taiko
Yeah.
drum thing,
Yeah.
So like maybe there is a very open where like someone shows up and then it goes into the drums.
you
or
might
bu-
be right, but that might be the opening scene. But it just feels like that's part of like the whole opening to me,
Right.
because like nothing was really said, and he's doing like some kind of ceremonial thing with candles.
Right.
But I'm gonna watch it tonight.
Damn.
Okay, just PM me. just drop me a text and let me know like if I'm wrong.
You're probably right. You should be right.
I
Because you're Asian.
no,
Yeah, that memory.
my memory is
That Asian
complete
memory.
garbage.
No, because the movie's about Asian.
Yes,
culture.
and I see it and I feel a much deeper visceral connection
I
to
should
the movie.
be wrong. I need to be wrong. I hope I'm wrong.
I hope you're
and,
right.
and jiu-jitsu did come from Japan, therefore Asia. You know, you should be really good at it, Luke.
Well,
Yeah.
they believe it. They track it even further than that to
Oh, no.
India,
Oh, wait. Okay.
which is still Asia.
Asia.
Yeah.
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 Damn. That's far. That's long.
Yeah.
India.
India. All right, folks. Thanks for listening, man.
Yeah.
This was
Thanks.
awesome.
I'm gonna say my
Yes, we need to tell Johnny, or everyone can.
Yeah.
How can people get a hold of you?
just through Instagram only.
KMNDZ.
KMNDZ
underscore.
And do not
Yeah.
support KMNDZ, just plain KMNDZ.
Yeah.
But she's
Because
kind of cute.
She is
or
cute.
Yeah.
Just send her a note. I would really appreciate it. A threatening note,
Oh.
like
to-
a very rude,
to
threatening.
relinquish-
note,
Where's the artwork? Damn it!
Yeah. Yeah.
Or, oh, it'd be funny if people started calling me Kim Mendoza.
Kim Mendoza. It's weird. Kim Mendoza. Is she really from Japan? I don't even know.
She looks.
She could be
She looks.
Filipino.
She could be.
You
She
know.
looks like she's very.
Yeah, she looks
Japan.
Chinese
What
or
does that mean?
Japanese.
But
Like,
her name is Kim Mendoza.
she's just like very.
KMNDZ.
She's just very pale and very like Asian looking. She doesn't look like a mix or anything like
Yeah.
that. So
We don't know.
And Kim Mendoza, if you're listening, hook a brother up. I'll give you some. I'll give you a painting of some sort.
Whoa, a painting.
Whoa.
I mean,
Because I know she's listening right now.
she only has a. I mean, she doesn't. You should do it, Kim Mendoza. It's a
You
good
should.
deal.
Yeah, it is a great deal.
Yeah. Just think,
Jeez.
it's a bomb diffused by a bird
Yeah.
and filled with love.
Yeah.
What are you doing? Just
Yeah.
cyber
Your
squatting
life.
his name.
Yeah,
What
and
are you
fucking
doing?
eating ice cream.
I know.
Fucking whatever.
I know.
Eric, may I be a part of the Post-it show?
Yeah, you're invited. Oh, yeah, of course. And yeah,
I have 2 artists that I would like to.
you always
invite
bring
that are-
these rad artists in.
All
So
right.
yeah,
Yes.
yes, awesome. Wait, what's the outro music, Luke? I'm kidding.
Robot and the bear. Robot and the bear. Bear.